A Beginner's Guide to Baseball Pitching. Uncomplicated. Easy-to-read story approach to baseball pitching. By Jason Beeding. Copyright 2025, Coach Jason Beeding, ARM. All right reserved. No part of this book may be reproduced or transmitted in any form whatsoever, electronic or mechanical, including photocopying, recording, or by any informational storage or retrieval system, without the express written, dated, and signed permission from the author. ARM. Massive purpose. Relentless intent. Super success. What you can expect from this book. Baseball pitching is one of the most complex and rewarding skills in sports. It's a dynamic interplay of physical precision, mental fortitude, and strategic execution. Whether you're a seasoned pitcher striving to refine your craft or a young athlete eager to unlock your potential, this book is designed to serve as your comprehensive guide to understanding the art and science of pitching. In this book, you will find 1. Comprehensive mechanics. We'll break down every aspect of proper pitching mechanics, from your foot placement on the mound to the release of the ball. You'll learn how to optimize your motion to maximize power and control while minimizing strain on your arm. Each chapter will dissect the key components of your delivery, including your grip, arm angle, and follow-through. With detailed illustrations and step-by-step instructions, you'll gain a clear understanding of how to execute each element effectively. By mastering these mechanics, you'll not only improve your performance, but also develop a more profound connection with the game. 2. Arm health and longevity. Pitching can be demanding on your body, particularly your shoulder, elbow, and arm. This book will teach you how to care for your arm with effective warm-up routines, recovery protocols, and strength-building exercises to ensure you stay on the field and out of the training room. We'll cover the importance of mobility and flexibility, as well as the role of proper nutrition in maintaining arm health. You'll also learn how to listen to your body, recognizing the signs of fatigue and overuse, so you can take proactive steps to prevent injuries before they occur. 3. The science of velocity and accuracy. Discover how biomechanics, strength training, and drills can improve your throwing velocity and accuracy. We'll delve into kinetic chain, how energy flows through your body, and how to harness it effectively. You'll learn about the physics of pitching, including the role of torque and leverage, and how to apply these principles to enhance your performance. With practical tips on strength training and conditioning, you'll be equipped to develop the explosive power needed to throw harder while maintaining pinpoint accuracy. 4. Mental mastery on the mound. Success as a pitcher is as much mental as it is physical. We'll explore strategies to build confidence, handle high-pressure situations, and maintain focus during big games. You'll learn techniques for visualization, mindfulness, and positive self-talk that can help you stay calm and composed when the stakes are high. By developing a strong mental game, you'll be better prepared to face adversity, bounce back from setbacks, and perform at your best when it matters most. 5. Practical drills and exercises. This book includes a library of drills and exercises tailored to improve every facet of your pitching game. From balance drills that enhance stability to power drills that build explosiveness, you'll find actionable steps to take your pitching to the next level. Each drill is designed to target specific skills, allowing you to focus on areas that need improvement. Additionally, we'll provide guidance on how to structure your practice sessions for maximum effectiveness, ensuring that every minute spent training contributes to your growth as a pitcher. 6. Life stories and lessons. Throughout these chapters, you'll encounter the stories of Joey who faced challenges, made adjustments, and achieved success. These examples illustrate the principles covered and show how they can transform your game. By learning from the experiences of Joey, you'll gain valuable insights into the journey of a pitcher, including the importance of perseverance, adaptability, and a growth mindset. These narratives will inspire you to embrace your own journey, reminding you that every setback can be a setup for a comeback. As you progress through this book, you'll find that each section builds upon the last, creating a comprehensive framework for your development as a pitcher. Whether you're looking to refine your mechanics, enhance your mental game, or simply gain a deeper appreciation for craft, this book is your essential resource. Prepare to embark on a transformative journey that will not only elevate your pitching skills, but also deepen your love for the game. Why this book matters. Pitching is more than just throwing a ball. It's about commanding the game. It's an intricate dance of strategy, skill, and mental fortitude. Every time you step onto the mound, you're not just facing batters. You're facing the weight of expectations, the pressure of competition, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. The lessons in this book will help you navigate this complex landscape and elevate your performance to new heights. Develop a deeper understanding of your craft. At its core, pitching is an art form. It requires a profound understanding of mechanics, timing, and the psychology of the game. This book will guide you through the nuances of pitching, from the biomechanics of your delivery to the intricacies of pitch selection. You'll learn how to read hitters, anticipate their moves, and adjust your strategy in real time. By deepening your knowledge, you'll not only enhance your skills, but also cultivate a greater appreciation for the game itself. Avoid common pitfalls that lead to injuries and poor performance. Injuries can be a pitcher's worst nightmare, often stemming from improper mechanics, overuse, or neglecting physical conditioning. This book will arm you with the knowledge to recognize the warning signs of potential injuries and the strategies to prevent them. You'll discover the importance of proper warm-ups, cool-downs, and recovery techniques, ensuring that your body remains resilient throughout the season. By avoiding these common pitfalls, you'll be able to maintain your performance and longevity in the sport you love. Build a routine that supports consistent growth and peak performance. Success in pitching doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of consistent effort and a well-structured routine. This book will help you design a personalized training regimen that aligns with your goals, whether you're a beginner or an advanced player. You'll learn how to incorporate strength training, flexibility exercises, and mental conditioning into your routine, creating a holistic approach to your development. With a solid foundation, you'll be equipped to face any challenge that comes your way. Gain the tools to overcome adversity, both physically and mentally. Every pitcher faces adversity, be it a tough game, a challenging opponent, or a personal setback. The mental aspect of pitching is just as crucial as the physical. This book will provide you with mental strategies to build resilience, focus, and confidence. You'll learn techniques for visualization, goal setting, and managing pressure, empowering you to rise above challenges and perform at your best when it matters most. Every pitcher's journey is unique, but the principles that lead to success remain universal. This book is your roadmap to becoming the best version of yourself on the mound, whether that means dominating in your local league or chasing your dream professional baseball. Now, let's begin this journey together. The next pitch is yours to throw, and with the lessons in this book, it will be your best one yet. Embrace the challenge, trust the process, and remember, every great pitcher was once a beginner who refused to give up. Your journey starts now. Introduction. Hi there, I'm Joey, and I want to take you on a journey through my life as a young pitcher. From the moment I first picked up a baseball and threw it, I was hooked. There's something magical about the game of baseball. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, and the feeling of standing on the mound, ready to face down the opposing team. But I quickly learned that having a strong arm and a love for the game was enough. To truly succeed, I needed to put in hard work and dedication to learning the craft of pitching. As I share my story with you, I hope you'll see how each chapter of this book reflects my experiences and the lessons I've learned along the way. My journey is one of growth, resilience, and discovery, and I can't wait to show you how I applied the principles from each chapter to my game. In the first chapter, I'll take you back to when I was struggling with my pitching mechanics. I remember feeling frustrated as I tried to find my rhythm on the mound. With the help of my coach, I learned to break down my delivery, focusing on key elements that would help me harness my natural talent. With each practice session, I gained confidence and started to see real improvement. Then came the reality of arm health and longevity. After a tough tournament, I found myself sidelined with shoulder issues. It was a wake-up call that made me realize how important it is to take care of my body. I searched for guidance on proper warm-up routines and recovery techniques, and I learned that staying healthy is just as crucial as mastering my pitches. As I continued my journey, I discovered the science of velocity and accuracy. Again, with my coach's help, I learned how biomechanics could enhance my performance. I experimented with different drills, pushing my limits and unlocking newfound power in my pitches. I realized that throwing hard is great, but placing the ball where I want is just as important. Pitching isn't just about physical skills. It's also about mental mastery on the mound. I faced high-pressure situations, like the championship game where every pitch counted. I learned to harness my nerves and turn them into focus. Through visualization techniques and positive self-talk, I transformed my mindset, becoming a more confident and composed pitcher. Throughout this book, I'll share practical drills and exercises that help me improve my game. From balance drills that enhance my stability to power drills that built my explosiveness, I embrace the training process. These exercises not only refine my skills, but also instill a sense of discipline and commitment that I carry with me both on and off the field. Finally, I'll share stories of other pitchers who have faced challenges similar to mine. Their experiences taught me valuable lessons about resilience, adaptability, and the importance of believing in myself. These stories inspire me to embrace my own journey, reminding me that every setback is an opportunity for growth. As you read through my journey, I hope you find pieces of your own story reflected in mine. Whether you're just starting out or looking to refine your craft, I want you to know that the lessons I've learned can help you too. So, step onto the mound with me, and let's embark on this journey together. The lessons await, and I can't wait to see how they help you throw your next pitch. Pitching was more than just a physical act. It was a reflection of my journey, my growth, and my passion for the game. As the sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows across the diamond, I stood on the mound, the weight of the baseball resting comfortably in my hand. It was a familiar feeling, one that sent a rush of adrenaline coursing through my veins. I took a deep breath, inhaling the scent of freshly cut grass mixed with the faint aroma of sunscreen. This was my sanctuary, a place where time seemed to stand still, and the world outside faded away. As I prepared to pitch, I couldn't help but reflect on the countless hours I had spent honing my craft. I remember the first time I ever stood on a mound, a scrawny kid with oversized cleats and a heart full of dreams. I was 12, and the coach had called me up to pitch in a crucial game. My hands trembled as I gripped the ball, and I could feel the weight of my teammates' expectations pressing down on me. I threw a wild pitch that sailed over the catcher's head, and the laughter of the opposing team echoed in my ears. But instead of giving up, I learned to channel that embarrassment into determination. I practiced relentlessly, throwing countless pitches against a weathered old barn, imagining the cheers of my teammates and the thrill of victory. Now, standing on the mound, I felt a sense of calm washing over me. I glanced at the batter, a tall kid with a confident stance, and I could see the determination in his eyes. I knew he was ready to swing, and that only fueled my desire to outsmart him. I took a moment to visualize my pitch, recalling the advice my father had given me years ago. It's not just about throwing hard. It's about throwing smart. With that thought in mind, I began my wind-up. I focused on my mechanics, feeling the rhythm of my body as I shifted my weight from my back foot to my front. I remembered the countless drills I had done, the hours spent perfecting my delivery. Each pitch was a conversation, a dance between me and the batter. I wanted to keep him guessing, to make him think twice about swinging. As I released the ball, I felt a surge of energy. The baseball soared through the air, a perfect spin, and I watched as it crossed the plate. The crack of the bat echoed in my ears, and for a split second, time seemed to freeze. I held my breath, hoping for the best. The batter swung, but instead of connecting, he missed. A wave of relief washed over me, and I couldn't help but smile. Reflecting on that moment, I remembered a game from my junior year of high school. It was a championship game, and I was a starting pitcher. The pressure was immense, and I could feel the weight of the entire season resting on my shoulders. I had trained for this moment, but nothing could prepare me for the intensity of the crowd. As I stood on the mound, I recalled the words of my coach. "You got this." I took a deep breath, just like I did now, and focused on the task at hand. I pitched a complete game, striking out the final batter to clinch the title. The roar of the crowd was deafening, and at that moment, I felt invincible. Back in the present, I shook off the memories and focused on the next pitch. I had learned that pitching was as much about mental fortitude as it was about physical skill. Each pitch was a test of my resolve, a chance to prove myself. I glanced at my catcher, who signaled for a curveball. I nodded, trusting his instincts. As I wound up again, I thought about the importance of teamwork. Pitching wasn't just an individual effort. It was a collaboration. I remembered my catcher, Jake, who had been my partner in crime since Little League. We had developed an unspoken bond, a rhythm that allowed us to anticipate each other's moves. I could almost hear his voice in my head, reminding me to stay focused and trust my instincts. With a flick of my wrist, I released the curveball, watching as it danced through the air, dropping just as it reached the plate. The batter swung, but once again he missed. I felt a rush of exhilaration, a reminder of why I loved this game. Each pitch was a story, a moment frozen in time, and I was the author. As I headed toward the dugout, I couldn't help but smile. Pitching was more than just a physical act. It was a reflection of my journey, my growth, and my passion for the game. Each pitch was a chance to learn, to adapt, and to embrace the challenges that lay ahead. And as I looked out of the field, I knew that I was exactly where I was meant to be. Chapter 1. The Importance of Proper Pitching Mechanics. Arm, shoulder, and elbow health. Pitching places immense stress on the arm, shoulder, and elbow. Proper mechanics are crucial for minimizing this stress and ensuring longevity in the sport. By maintaining correct form, pitchers can reduce the risk of overuse injuries. Repetitive motions can lead to conditions such as tendinitis, rotator cuff strains, or ulnar collateral ligament (UCL) injuries. Proper mechanics help distribute force evenly across the body, reducing localized stress and mitigating the risk of these injuries. Preserve joint integrity. The shoulder joint, the most mobile joint in the body, is highly susceptible to instability and injury during high-velocity pitching. Proper alignment and timing prevent excessive torque on the joint, maintaining its health over time. Enhance muscular balance. Over-reliance on specific muscle groups, such as the rotator cuff, can lead to imbalances that increase injury risk. Proper mechanics promote the involvement of all relevant muscles, ensuring balanced development. Prevent chronic elbow issues. The elbow's UCL is often under immense stress during pitching. Sound mechanics reduce valgus stress on the elbow, which is critical for avoiding injuries like Tommy John surgery. Key strategies for arm health. 1. Maintaining flexibility and mobility. Tightness in the shoulders, forearms, or elbows can alter mechanics and lead to compensations that strain the arm. Regular stretching and mobility exercises should be part of a pitcher's routine. 2. Strengthening the rotator cuff. A well-conditioned rotator cuff stabilizes the shoulder joint and reduces injury risk. Exercises like external rotations, YTWLs, and band work are essential. 3. Focus on scapular stability. The scapula or shoulder blade plays a pivotal role in healthy arm movement. Strengthening the surrounding muscles ensures a stable base for the shoulder joint. 4. Core engagement. A strong core reduces reliance on the arm by transferring energy effectively through the kinetic chain, minimizing strain on the upper body. The role of recovery in arm health. Recovery is a cornerstone of maintaining arm health, as it allows the body to repair and strengthen tissues after the stress of pitching. Effective recovery practices include rest between outings. Adequate rest periods between pitching sessions are essential for tissue repair and avoiding overuse injuries. Young athletes, in particular, should adhere to pitch count limits and rest recommendations to prevent long-term damage. Ice and compression. Applying ice and using compression sleeves after pitching can help reduce inflammation in the arm, shoulder, and elbow, facilitating quicker recovery. Soft tissue care. Regular massage, foam rolling, and the use of therapeutic tools like massage guns help alleviate muscle tightness and enhance blood flow to fatigue areas. Active recovery. Light activities such as walking, swimming, or cycling promote circulation and prevent stiffness without overloading the arm. Hydration and nutrition. Proper hydration and a nutrient-rich diet are critical for tissue repair. Foods high in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and protein support recovery by reducing inflammation and promoting muscle repair. Sleep. Quality sleep is perhaps the most undervalued recovery tool. During deep sleep stages, the body releases growth hormones that aid in muscle and tissue repair. Recovery exercises for the day after pitching. To enhance recovery and maintain arm health, incorporate the following exercises a day after pitching or heavy throwing. 1. Arm circles. Perform small and large circles with extended arms to promote blood flow and loosen the shoulder joints. Do 2 sets of 20 circles in each direction. 2. Banded shoulder rows. Using a resistance band, perform rows to engage the scapular stabilizers and upper back muscles. Complete 3 sets of 15 repetitions. 3. Foam rolling. Focus on thoracic spine, lats, and shoulders to release muscle tightness and improve mobility. Spend 1 to 2 minutes on each area. 4. Sleeper stretch. Lie on your side with the throwing arm underneath. Use the opposite hand to gently push the forearm down toward the ground, stretching the posterior shoulder. Hold for 30 seconds on each side. Repeat 2 times. 5. Wall angels. Stand with your back against a wall, maintaining contact with your head, shoulders, and lower back. Slowly raise and lower your arms in a Y motion to improve shoulder mobility. Perform 2 sets of 10 repetitions. 6. Scapular push UPS. In a push-up position, keep your arms straight and move your shoulder blades together and apart without bending your elbows. Do 3 sets of 10 repetitions. Pre-throwing and post-throwing protocols for recovery. Pre-throwing. Begin with dynamic stretches targeting the shoulders, arms, and torso. Incorporate band exercises to activate the rotator cuff and scapular stabilizers. Gradual throwing progression, from short tosses to longer distances, prepares the arm for high-intensity effort. Post-throwing. Conclude sessions with static stretches focused on the shoulder girdle, triceps, and forearms. Incorporate light cardio, such as jogging, to flush out lactic acid. Follow with icing if inflammation or soreness is present. Early warning signs of injury. Pitchers should be vigilant about recognizing early signs of arm trouble, such as persistent soreness or pain after throwing, a decrease in velocity or control, tingling or numbness in the fingers, swelling or tenderness around the elbow or shoulder. Example: my teammate Connor began experiencing mild elbow pain midway through a high school season, but dismissed it as normal soreness. Over the next month, the pain intensified, and Connor started compensating by altering his mechanics. This compensation placed undue stress on his shoulder, eventually leading to a torn labrum and a partial UCL tear. Despite undergoing surgeries and extensive rehabilitation, Connor's arm never fully recovered, ending his baseball career prematurely. Connor's story underscores the importance of listening to your body and addressing minor issues before they escalate. Key elements of proper form. Balance and posture. The foundation of every pitch starts with proper balance. A stable and upright posture allows the body to generate power and maintain control throughout the motion. Maintaining a centered head position and an aligned spine ensures consistency. Stride length and direction. The stride, a pitcher's forward movement toward the plate, is critical. An optimal stride length is approximately 80 to 90% of a pitcher's height, ensuring maximum power generation without sacrificing balance. The direction of the stride should be toward the catcher to avoid rotational inefficiencies. Arm angle and timing. The arm's position as it moves through the throwing motion is key to avoiding injuries and maximizing velocity. Timing the arm's movement with the rotation of the hips and shoulders ensures seamless energy transfer. Efficient energy transfer. Proper form ensures the energy generated by the legs and core flows seamlessly through the arm to the ball. Misalignments at any stage disrupt this transfer, reducing velocity and increasing strain. Follow-through and deceleration. Completing the motion with controlled follow-through reduces the stress on the arm and shoulders. Proper deceleration mechanics help absorb the remaining energy and prevent abrupt stopping motions that can lead to injury. The domino effect of poor mechanics. When mechanics break down, the effects cascade through the entire pitching motion, leading to inconsistent velocity. Improper mechanics disrupt the kinetic chain, reducing the energy delivered to the ball. Reduced accuracy. Poor alignment and timing result in pitches missing their intended target. Increased risk of injury. Faulty mechanics can place undue stress on the elbow, shoulder, and back, leading to chronic or acute injuries. For example, a pitcher who fails to maintain a proper arm slot may experience excessive stress on the shoulder and elbow, leading to inflammation or structural damage. Similarly, an improper stride direction can cause misalignment in the hips and shoulders, reducing velocity and accuracy while increasing injury risk. One small flaw in mechanics can magnify throughout the delivery, demonstrating the interconnected nature of pitching biomechanics. Examples of proper mechanics in action. Consider the pitching motions of elite MLB pitchers. Their mechanics exemplify balance, timing, and precision. Balance point. Watch how top pitchers pause briefly at their leg lift, achieving perfect balance before driving toward the plate. Efficient stride. Notice the powerful yet controlled forward movement, with their stride leading directly toward the target. Arm path. Observe the smooth and synchronized movement of the throwing arm relative to the body's rotation. Kinetic chain efficiency. Take note of how elite pitchers utilize their legs, hips, and core to generate power before seamlessly transferring that energy through the upper body to the arm. This chain of motion is smooth and uninterrupted, resulting in high velocity with minimal stress on the joints. Follow through and finish. Top pitchers maintain balance and control even after delivering a pitch. Their follow-through is smooth, allowing for optimal deceleration and minimizing unnecessary strain on their arm and shoulder. One striking example is Clayton Kershaw's delivery. Known for his smooth mechanics and repeatable motion, Kershaw's balance, stride, and timing contribute to his dominance on the mound. Another is Jacob deGrom, whose efficient use of the kinetic chain generates high velocity with remarkable consistency. Studying these examples can provide valuable insights into the principles of proper mechanics. By studying and emulating these examples, pitchers at all levels can work toward refining their own mechanics. The importance of proper pitching mechanics. As I walked to the mound, I took a moment to visualize my delivery. I had spent countless hours refining my mechanics, breaking down each component to ensure that everything worked in harmony. I knew that even the slightest flaw could lead to poor performance or, worse, injury. I took a deep breath, centering myself as I prepared to execute my first pitch of the day. I began my wind-up, focusing on my balance. I lifted my leg, feeling the tension in my core as I prepared to drive off the mound. Balance was crucial. It allowed me to generate power while maintaining control. I had learned that a strong foundation started with my feet. I made sure my weight was evenly distributed, my back foot firmly planted on the rubber. As I transitioned into my delivery, I focused on my arm path. I had worked hard to develop a smooth, fluid motion, ensuring that my arm stayed in line with my body. I remember the advice of my pitching coach. Your arm is just a tool. It's your body that generates the power. I felt the energy build in my legs and hips as I pushed off the mound, transferring that energy through my core and into my throwing arm. I released the ball, watching as it sailed toward the plate. The satisfying sound of the ball hitting the glove echoed in my ears. I had executed the pitch perfectly, and I could feel the confidence surging through me. But I knew that this was just one pitch. Consistency was key. After a few more throws, I took a moment to reflect on the importance of proper mechanics. I had seen too many talented pitchers fall victim to injuries due to poor form. It was a harsh reality of the game, one that I was determined to avoid. I had learned to listen to my body, to recognize when something fell off. Proper mechanics not only improved my performance, but also protected my arm and shoulder from the wear and tear of the season. As I continued my practice, I focused on my follow-through. I had learned that a proper follow-through was just as important as the wind-up and delivery. It allowed my body to decelerate safely, reducing the risk of injury. I made sure to finish each pitch with my arm extended, my body balanced, and my head up, ready to field any potential ground balls. After a solid session of throwing, I gathered with my teammates for a discussion led by our pitching coach. He emphasized the importance of mechanics, sharing stories of pitchers who had excelled due to their attention to detail. Every great pitcher you've ever heard of had one thing in common, he said, his voice steady and authoritative. They understood their mechanics and made them a priority. He went on to explain how proper mechanics could enhance pitch effectiveness. When you throw the right form, you not only increase your velocity, but also improve your accuracy. Your body becomes a well-oiled machine, and every pitch you throw reflects that. I nodded in agreement, recalling the countless hours I had spent working on my mechanics. I had learned to break down my delivery into its individual components: the wind-up, the stride, the release, and the follow-through. Each part was essential, and neglecting any one of them could lead to inconsistency. As practice continued, I took the opportunity to work with some of the younger pitchers on the team. I remembered what it was like to be in their shoes, eager to learn but unsure of where to start. I demonstrated my wind-up, explaining the importance of balance and weight transfer. I encouraged them to focus on their arm path, emphasizing that a smooth motion was key to generating power. Don't rush it, I told them. Let your body do the work. If you force it, you'll end up with bad mechanics, and that can lead to injury. Trust the process. I watched as they practiced, offering feedback and encouragement. It was rewarding to see them improve, to witness their confidence grow with each successful pitch. I knew that by instilling the importance of proper mechanics in them, I was helping to shape the future of our team. As the sun set, I felt a sense of fulfillment. I had not only worked on my own mechanics, but had also contributed to the development of my teammates. I understood that pitching was not just an individual endeavor. It was a collective effort. We were all in this together, striving for excellence. In the days that followed, I continued to prioritize my mechanics during every practice session. I incorporated drills that focused on specific aspects of my delivery, such as balance drills, resistance band exercises, and video analysis. Each drill was designed to reinforce the fundamentals and ensure that I was consistently executing my pitches with precision. I also made a point to study the mechanics of successful pitchers in the major leagues. I watched their games, paying close attention to their wind-ups, arm angles, and follow-throughs. I took notes, analyzing what made their deliveries effective and how I could incorporate similar elements into my own style. It was fascinating to see how each pitcher had their own unique approach, yet they all shared a common understanding of the importance of mechanics. As the season progressed, I noticed a significant improvement in my performance. My velocity had increased, and my control was sharper than ever. I attributed this success to my unwavering commitment to proper mechanics. I felt more confident on the mound, knowing that I had created a solid foundation for my pitching. One day, during a particularly intense practice, our pitching coach introduced a new drill aimed at enhancing our mechanics under pressure. The drill involved simulating game situations where we had to pitch with runners on base and a limited number of outs. The added pressure forced us to focus on our mechanics while managing the mental aspect of the game. As I towed the rubber, I felt the familiar rush of adrenaline. I reminded myself to trust my mechanics, to rely on the hours of practice I had put in. The first batter stepped up, and I executed my wind-up with precision, delivering a fastball that hit the target perfectly. The drill was challenging, but it reinforced the idea that proper mechanics could help me perform under pressure. After the live batter scrimmage, I gathered with my teammates to discuss our experiences. We shared our thoughts on how focusing on mechanics had helped us navigate the challenges of pitching in high-pressure situations. It was clear that we were all on the same page, understanding that our success depended on our ability to maintain our form, even when the stakes were high. As the season neared its conclusion, I reflected on how far I had come. The importance of proper pitching mechanics had become ingrained in my approach to the game. I had learned that it was not just about throwing hard. It was about throwing smart. Each pitch was an opportunity to showcase my skills, and I was determined to make the most of every moment. In the final weeks of the season, I continued to emphasize mechanics in my training. I sought feedback from my coaches and teammates, always looking for ways to improve. I knew that the journey of a pitcher was never truly complete. There was always room for growth and refinement. As I prepared for the upcoming playoffs, I felt a sense of excitement and anticipation. I was ready to put everything I had learned into practice, to bring my best self to the mound. I understood that proper mechanics would be my ally, guiding me through the challenges ahead. With each passing day, I grew more confident in my abilities. I had embraced the importance of proper pitching mechanics, and I was ready to face whatever came my way. The mound was my domain, and I was determined to make my mark one pitch at a time. Chapter 2, Mechanics and Throwing Velocity. How mechanics influence velocity. Throwing velocity is not solely about arm strength. It's about harnessing the power of the entire body. Proper mechanics enable efficient energy transfer through the kinetic chain, from the legs to the fingertips. Here's how each element of mechanics impacts velocity. Lower body engagement. The legs generate the initial force in a pitch. By driving off the back leg and utilizing ground reaction force, a pitcher sets the stage for a powerful delivery. Drills like the lunge with a twist or med ball scoop tosses can help pitchers develop this foundational strength. Hip-shoulder separation. This refers to the ability to rotate the hips toward home plate while keeping the shoulders closed. The greater the separation, the more torque is created, leading to higher velocity. For example, Jacob deGrom's exceptional hip-shoulder separation allows him to throw at elite speeds with seemingly effortless motion. Efficient energy transfer. Proper timing ensures that energy generated by the lower body flows seamlessly to the core and upper body to the throwing arm. When this timing is off, velocity and control suffer. Follow-through. A controlled follow-through ensures that the kinetic chain's energy is fully utilized. Cutting off a follow-through can result in a loss of velocity and increased strain on the arm. Factors affecting velocity. Numerous factors contribute to throwing velocity, and understanding these can help pitchers maximize their potential. Here are key elements. 1. Strength and conditioning. Lower body strength drives force production, while core stability ensures efficient energy transfer. Focus on squats, deadlifts, and rotational exercises to build power. Arm strength matters too, but should be developed in balance with other areas to avoid overuse injuries. 2. Flexibility and mobility. Tight hips or shoulders can restrict motion, forcing compensations that reduce velocity. Incorporate dynamic stretching and mobility drills like hip flexor stretches and shoulder dislocates. 3. Consistency and mechanics. Repetition with proper form builds muscle memory, allowing for efficient movement patterns even under pressure. 4. Nutrition and recovery. A well-fueled and rested body performs better. Consuming enough protein and staying hydrated aids muscle repair and energy production. Velocity breakthroughs. Consider the case of Matt, a college pitcher struggling to break 85 miles per hour. Despite spending hours in the gym, his velocity plateaued. After a detailed mechanics evaluation, we discovered he wasn't utilizing his lower half effectively. His stride was too short, and his hips weren't rotating fully. By introducing drills to lengthen his stride and improve hip mobility, Matt's velocity increased to 90 miles per hour within a season. This transformation highlights how optimizing mechanics can unlock untapped potential. Another example is John, a high school pitcher who experienced shoulder pain every time she threw at high intensity. Video analysis revealed that his arm path was inconsistent, leading to late arm action and lost energy. After weeks of focused drills to sync his arm path with his lower body movement, John not only eliminated his pain, but also added 3 miles per hour to his fastball. Velocity enhancement. Achieving higher throwing velocity is a goal for every pitcher, but it requires more than just brute strength. True velocity comes from a combination of mechanics, strength, and explosive power. In this chapter, we will explore key principles and drills to enhance your velocity while maintaining proper mechanics and arm health. Key concepts for velocity enhancement. 1. Use your legs. Principle. A significant amount of a pitcher's velocity comes from the lower body. Driving off the mound effectively transfers power up the kinetic chain. Application. Focus on engaging your legs and hips during your delivery. A strong push-off generates force that travels through your core and upper body. 2. Improve hip mobility. Principle. The hips are the pivot point of the kinetic chain. Improved hip mobility allows for a larger range of motion, better rotation, and more power. Application. Incorporate hip mobility exercises, such as 90-90 stretches and hip circles, into your warm-up and cool-down routines. 3. Core stability. Principle. The core connects your lower and upper body, playing a crucial role in transferring energy during your pitch. Application. Strengthen your core with planks, Russian twists, and medicine ball throws. A stable core ensures a smooth and efficient transfer of power. 4. Med ball rotations. Principle. Building rotational strength and explosiveness is key to increasing velocity. Application. Use medicine ball exercises, such as rotational slams and side throws, to mimic the rotational movements of pitching. 5. Weighted ball training. Principle. Properly implemented weighted ball programs can improve arm speed and strengthen throwing specific muscles. O. Application. Consult with a pitching coach to design a safe and effective weighted ball regimen. Overuse or improper use can lead to injury. 6. Sprint workouts. O. Principle. Sprinting builds explosive power and overall athleticism, both of which contribute to velocity. O. Application. Incorporate short sprints, 10 to 20 yards, and agility drills into your training. These exercises improve your fast-twitch muscle fibers, crucial for explosive movements. 7. Proper shoulder load. O. Principle. Efficient loading of the shoulder during the arm cocking phase optimizes energy transfer and reduces strain. O. Application. Focus on drills that promote proper shoulder alignment and external rotation, such as wall drills or banded shoulder exercises. Velocity enhancement drills. 1. Drive mechanics drill. O. Purpose. Improve leg drive and power transfer. O. How to. Set up a target 60 feet away. Focus on pushing off the rubber with your back leg, driving forward explosively, and landing in a balanced position. Repeat for 8 to 10 reps. 2. Hip mobility stretch. O. Purpose. Increase range of motion in the hips. O. How to. Perform the pigeon pose stretch or the 90-90 stretch. Hold each stretch for 30 to 60 seconds on each side, focusing on deep, controlled breaths. 3. Medicine ball rotational throws. O. Purpose. Develop rotational power. O. How to. Stand sideways to a wall. Hold a medicine ball with both hands and rotate your torso to throw the ball against the wall as hard as possible. Perform 3 sets of 12 reps on each side. 4. Sprint intervals. O. Purpose. Build explosive lower body power and endurance. O. How to. Perform 10-yard sprints at maximum effort, resting for 30 seconds between each sprint. Complete 6 to 8 sprints per session. 5. Core stability circuit. O. Purpose. Strengthen the core for better energy transfer. O. How to. Perform a circuit of 1-minute planks, 30 Russian twists each side, and 20 medicine ball slams. Repeat the circuit 3 times. 6. Long toss program. O. Purpose. Build arm strength and improve throwing mechanics. O. How to. Gradually increase your throwing distance over the course of a session. Focus on maintaining proper mechanics and throwing with intent. Slowly work back to a maximum comfortable distance before working back in. Success example: the power apply ball training. A prime example of velocity enhancement through focused training is a transformation of Trevor Bauer. Known for his meticulous approach to pitching, Bauer incorporated extensive plyometric and weighted ball training into his regimen. By focusing on hip mobility, rotational strength, and explosive drills, Bauer saw a significant increase in his velocity, which became a key factor in his success as a Cy Young Award winner. His dedication to these principles highlights how a strategic and disciplined approach can unlock a pitcher's full potential. Thoughts on velocity. Enhancing your velocity is a multifaceted process that requires attention to mechanics, strength, mobility, and explosiveness. By consistently incorporating these drills and principles into your training, you can develop the power and precision needed to elevate your game. Remember, increased velocity should never come at the expense of arm health. Prioritize proper form and recovery to ensure longevity on the mound. The relationship between velocity and control. While velocity is crucial, it should not come at the expense of control. A pitcher who can throw 95 miles per hour but struggles to hit the strike zone won't find success. Proper mechanics provide the foundation for both velocity and accuracy. By aligning the body and timing movements correctly, pitchers can achieve both goals simultaneously. One notable example is Greg Maddux, who wasn't the fastest pitcher but mastered control through sound mechanics. His ability to locate pitches consistently made him a Hall of Fame player. Maddox's career serves as a reminder that while velocity opens doors, control wins games. Through understanding and applying these principles, pitchers at all levels can maximize their throwing velocity while maintaining health and effectiveness. Guiding me through the challenges ahead, the crisp autumn air filled the stadium as I stood on the mound, the final game of the season looming ahead. The stakes were high, and I could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on me. I had spent countless hours refining my mechanics, and now it was time to put them to the test. I knew that my throwing velocity would play a crucial role in our success, and I was determined to maximize it. I took a deep breath, centering myself. I had learned that throwing velocity wasn't just about raw strength. It was about the efficiency of my mechanics. Every component of my delivery had to work in harmony to generate maximum power. I recalled the countless drills and exercises I practiced to develop my mechanics, each one designed to enhance my velocity while minimizing the risk of injury. I began my wind-up, focusing on my balance. I lifted my leg, feeling the tension build in my core. Balance was essential. It allowed me to generate power from my lower body and transfer it through my upper body. I had learned that a strong foundation started with my feet. I made sure my weight was evenly distributed, my back foot firmly planted on the rubber. As I transitioned into my delivery, I concentrated on my arm path. I had worked hard to develop a smooth, fluid motion, ensuring that my arm stayed in line with my body. I remember my pitching coach's words, "Your arm is just a tool. It's your body that generates the power." I felt the energy build in my legs and hips as I pushed off the mound, transferring that energy through my core and into my throwing arm. I released the ball, watching as it zipped toward the plate. The satisfying sound of the ball hitting the glove echoed in my ears. I had executed the pitch perfectly, and I could feel the confidence surging through me. But I knew that this was just one pitch. Consistency was key. After a few more throws, I took a moment to reflect on how mechanics influence throwing velocity. I had seen pitchers with incredible arm strength struggle to achieve high velocity due to poor mechanics. It was a harsh reality of the game, one that I was determined to avoid. I had learned to listen to my body, to recognize when something felt off. Proper mechanics not only improved my performance, but also protected my arm and shoulder from the wear and tear of the season. I recalled a conversation I had with my pitching coach earlier in the season. He had explained how the kinetic chain, the sequence of movements on the ground up, was essential for generating velocity. "It starts with your legs," he had said. "If you can generate power from your lower body, you'll be able to transfer that energy through your core and into your arm. It's all about efficiency." As I continued my practice, I focused on my stride length. I had learned that a longer stride could help increase velocity, but it had to be balanced with proper mechanics. If I overextended, I risked losing control and compromising my delivery. I practiced finding that sweet spot, where my stride was long enough to generate power, but not so long that it threw off my balance. After a solid session of throwing, I gathered with my teammates for a discussion led by our pitching coach. He emphasized the importance of mechanics in relation to velocity, sharing stories of pitchers who had excelled due to their attention to detail. "Every great pitcher you've ever heard of had one thing in common," he said, his voice steady and authoritative. "They understood how their mechanics influenced their velocity and made them a priority." He went on to explain how proper mechanics could enhance pitch effectiveness. When you throw with the right form, you not only increase your velocity, but also improve your accuracy. Your body becomes a well-oiled machine, and every pitch you throw is a reflection of that. I nodded in agreement, recalling the countless hours I had spent working on my mechanics. I had learned to break down my delivery into its individual components: the wind-up, the stride, the release, and the follow-through. Each part was essential, and neglecting any one of them could lead to inconsistency. As the season progressed, I noticed a significant improvement in my velocity. My hard work was paying off, and I attributed the success to my unwavering commitment to proper mechanics. I felt more confident on the mound, knowing that I had laid a solid foundation for my pitching. One day, during a particularly intense practice, our pitching coach established a new drill aimed at enhancing our mechanics and velocity. The drill involved using resistance bands to strengthen our legs and core while focusing on our throwing motion. The added resistance forced us to engage our lower body more effectively, reinforcing connection between our mechanics and velocity. After the drill, my teammates and I shared insights on how focusing on our mechanics had directly impacted our throwing velocity. It was clear that we were all beginning to understand the intricate relationship between our body movements and the speed of our pitches. The conversation was filled with excitement as we exchanged tips and techniques that had worked for us. I continued to prioritize my mechanics during every practice session. I incorporated drills that focus on specific aspects of my delivery, such as explosive leg drives and core stability exercises. Each drill was designed to reinforce the fundamentals and ensure that I was consistently executing my pitches with maximum velocity. As the season wound down, I continued to emphasize mechanics in my training. With each passing day, I grew more confident in my abilities. I had embraced the importance of mechanics in influencing throwing velocity, and I was ready to face whatever came my way. The mound was my domain, and I was determined to make my mark one pitch at a time. Chapter 3: Common Mistakes and Their Consequences. Common mechanical flaws. Pitch and mechanics are intricate, and even minor deviations can have significant repercussions. Below are some of the most prevalent mechanical flaws and their impacts. 1. Opening up too early. This occurs when a pitcher's front shoulder rotates toward the target before the hips and lower body have completed their role. The result is O. Loss of velocity due to incomplete energy transfer. O. Increased strain on the shoulder and elbow as they attempt to compensate for the lost power. O. Reduced accuracy, as the pitcher's arm may struggle to stay in sync with the rest of the body. Example: Mike, a collegiate pitcher, had a promising freshman year, but struggled with control and arm pain during his sophomore season. Video analysis revealed that he was consistently opening up too early, which caused erratic pitches and elbow strain. After focusing on keeping his front side closed longer during his stride, Mike regained his velocity and eliminated his elbow pain. 2. Overstriding or understriding. Stride length is critical to balance and power generation. Errors here lead to O. Overstriding. Results in poor balance and the inability to rotate the hips effectively. O. Understriding. Limits power generation and reduces the effectiveness of the kinetic chain. Example: Jackson, a high school pitcher, consistently underperformed in velocity tests despite his excellent work ethic. His coach identified a short stride as the culprit. By increasing his stride length to 85% of his height and working on hip rotation drills, Jackson gained an extra 4 miles per hour on his fastball within 2 months. 3. Improper arm slot. The angle at which the arm moves through the throwing motion is critical. A slot that is too high or too low can lead to O. Shoulder impingement or rotator cuff issues. O. Reduced command over pitches, as the release point becomes inconsistent. Example: A professional scout once noted that a promising pitcher named Derek was dropping his arm slot to compensate for shoulder fatigue. This adjustment led to decreased accuracy and chronic shoulder pain. After a focused strengthening program for his rotator cuff and video-assisted mechanics training, Derek returned to his original arm slot and reclaimed his spot in the starting rotation. 4. Lack of hip-shoulder separation. Hip-shoulder separation is the timing difference between the rotation of the hips and the upper body. Poor separation results in O. Loss of velocity. O. Increased reliance on the arm, leading to overuse injuries. 5. Flying open. When a pitcher's glove arm pulls away from the body instead of staying compact, it causes O. Reduced torque and power. O. Loss of control, as the body is not aligned with the target. 6. Poor follow-through. Abruptly stopping the motion instead of completing a smooth follow-through can. O. Increased stress on the shoulder and elbow. O. Lead to a lack of consistency and repeatability in the delivery. Avoiding injuries. Identifying and addressing these mechanical flaws early is critical for avoiding injuries and ensuring long-term success. Here are steps pitchers can take. Video analysis. Regularly review pitching mechanics using video to identify subtle flaws. Work with a qualified coach. Professional guidance ensures proper adjustments and avoids overcorrection. Develop strength and flexibility. A balanced training program targeting the legs, core, shoulders, and arm supports healthy mechanics. Listen to your body. Pain or discomfort should never be ignored, as they are often the first indicators of mechanical issues. Consequences of poor mechanics. Poor mechanics don't just lead to reduced performance. They can have long-lasting repercussions, including chronic injuries such as rotator cuff tears, labrum damage, or UCL injuries requiring Tommy John surgery. Decreased confidence due to inconsistent results and recurring pain. Shortened careers for athletes who fail to address these issues promptly. Example: Jack, a highly recruited high school pitcher, ignored persistent shoulder pain for months, attributing it to regular soreness. His mechanics showed a pronounced flying open motion, which overloaded his shoulder. By the time he sought help, he had sustained a significant labrum tear, ending his chances of playing Division I baseball. Alex's story serves as a cautionary tale for athletes and coaches to prioritize proper mechanics and injury prevention, corrective strategies, and drills. To address these flaws, pitchers can incorporate targeted drills into their training routines. 1. Balance drills. Practice pitching from a single leg stance to improve stability and balance. 2. Stride length practice. Use a stride line on the ground to ensure proper length and direction. 3. Arm path drills. Work on smooth, consistent arm movements using light weights or resistance bands. 4. Hip rotation exercises. Perform drills that isolate hip movement, such as seated hip rotations, to improve separation. 5. Glove side stability. Practice keeping the glove arm compact by holding a small object against the chest during dry pitching motions. 6. Follow-through awareness. Use markers on the ground to ensure complete follow-through toward the target. Addressing common mechanical flaws and implementing corrective measures. Pitchers can optimize their performance and minimize injury risks. Learning from the experiences of others highlights the importance of vigilance and proper training in the journey to becoming a successful pitcher. Mistakes were not failures, but rather stepping stones to success. The sun was setting over the field, casting a warm glow that signaled the end of another long day of practice. As I stood on the mound, I couldn't help but reflect on the journey I had taken as a pitcher. I learned a great deal about the mechanics of throwing, the importance of strategy, and the mental fortitude required to succeed. But just as crucial were the lessons I had learned from mistakes, my own and those of others. Mistakes were an inevitable part of the game, but understanding their consequences was what set apart the good pitchers from the great ones. I saw firsthand how small errors in mechanics could lead to significant problems, both in performance and in health. As I prepared for practice, I gathered my teammates around for a discussion. I wanted to share some of the common mistakes I had observed over the years and the consequences that often followed. I knew that by addressing these issues, we could all improve and avoid the pitfalls that had plagued many pitchers before us. All right, everyone, I began looking around at the eager faces. Today, I want to talk about some common mistakes we make as pitchers and the consequences that can come from them. Trust me, I've made my fair share of these errors, and I've learned the hard way. The first mistake I wanted to address was poor balance during the wind-up. I had seen many pitchers rush their delivery, leading to a loss of balance. When you're not balanced, you can't generate power effectively, I explained. You end up relying too much on your arm, which can lead to injuries and decreased velocity. I learned this the hard way when I strained my shoulder trying to compensate for a lack of balance. I demonstrated the proper wind-up, emphasizing the importance of a stable base. Focus on your legs and core. If you can establish a strong foundation, everything else will fall into place. Remember, balance and posture are key. Next, I moved on to the common mistake of overstriding. I know it can be tempting to reach for that extra distance, but overstriding can throw off your timing and lead to inconsistency. I cautioned. I've seen pitchers who try to stretch their stride too far, only to end up losing control of their pitches. It's a fine line between generating power and losing your mechanics. I demonstrated the ideal stride length, showing how it should be long enough to create momentum, but not so long that it disrupts balance. Find that sweet spot. A shorter, more controlled stride can often lead to better velocity and accuracy. As I continued, I addressed the issue of my arm path. Another common mistake is having an inconsistent arm path. If your arm doesn't follow a smooth, fluid motion, you risk losing velocity and accuracy. I explained. I've had days where my arm path was off, and I could feel the difference in my pitches. It's like trying to throw a dart with a wobbly hand. You're not going to hit your target. I encourage my teammates to pay attention to their arm motion during their delivery. Practice in front of a mirror or record yourself. Make sure your arm stays in line with your body throughout the pitch. Consistency is key. The next mistake I wanted to highlight was neglecting the follow-through. I can't stress enough how important the follow-through is. I said. Many pitchers finish their delivery too abruptly, which can lead to arm injuries and decreased velocity. I learned this lesson when I felt a sharp pain in my elbow after a game where I didn't follow through properly. I demonstrated a proper follow-through, emphasizing the importance of allowing the arm to extend fully and the body to decelerate naturally. A good follow-through not only protects your arm, but also helps maintain accuracy. It's the final piece of the puzzle. As we wrapped up our discussion, I wanted to address the mental aspect of pitching. One of the biggest mistakes I see is letting frustration or anxiety affect your performance. I said, when you're on the mound, it's easy to get caught up in a moment and lose focus. I had games where I let a bad pitch or a bad call get to me, and it spiraled out of control. It's crucial to stay composed and trust your training. I encourage my teammates to develop mental strategies to cope with pressure. Take a deep breath, reset, and focus on the next pitch. Remember, every pitch is a new opportunity. As practice continued, I made it a point to observe my teammates closely. I offered feedback and encouragement, helping them correct any mistakes I noticed. I want to create an environment where we could all learn from each other and grow as pitchers. After a solid practice session, I gathered everyone for a final huddle. Remember, mistakes are part of the game, but it's how we learn from them that truly matters. By recognizing these common errors and their consequences, we can improve our performance and protect our health. Let's commit to focusing on our mechanics and mental approach as we move forward. With that, we broke the huddle, and I felt a renewed sense of purpose. I knew that by addressing these common mistakes, we were not only enhancing our skills, but also fostering a culture of accountability and growth within the team. Each practice was an opportunity to refine our craft, and I was determined to lead by example. As the weeks went by, I continued to emphasize the importance of learning from mistakes. I encouraged my teammates to share their experiences and insights, creating an open dialogue about the challenges we faced on the mound. We began to develop a camaraderie built on mutual support and a shared desire to improve. During one practice, I noticed a teammate struggle with his balance during the wind-up. I approached him and offered some tips based on my own experiences. I've been there, I said. It's all about finding that center of gravity. Let's work on it together. We spent time focusing on his mechanics, and I could see the improvement in his delivery almost immediately. As the season progressed, I saw a noticeable change in our team's performance. We were more cohesive, and our pitching staff was becoming increasingly effective. The lessons learned from our mistakes were translating into better results on the field. I felt a sense of pride in our growth, knowing that we were all committed to becoming better pitchers. In the final games of the season, I reflected on how far we had come. The mistakes we had made earlier in the year had become valuable lessons, shaping our approach to the game. I felt more confident than ever on the mound, knowing that I had not only improved my mechanics, but also developed a deeper understanding of the mental aspects of pitching. As I prepared for the playoffs, I reminded myself of the importance of staying grounded. I knew that the pressure would be higher, but I was determined to trust my training and the lessons I had learned. I had embraced the idea that mistakes were not failures, but rather stepping stones to success. With each pitch, I focused on executing my mechanics and maintaining my composure. I could feel the energy of the crowd, but I remained centered, drawing on the support of my teammates and the knowledge we had gained together. The culmination of our hard work and dedication was about to be put to the ultimate test, and I was ready to rise to the occasion. Chapter 4, The Biomechanics of Pitching. The kinetic chain. The kinetic chain refers to the sequence of movements that start from the ground and end with the ball release. Each segment, ankles, knees, hips, core, shoulders, and arm, plays a pivotal role in generating and transferring energy. When one link in this chain is weak or improperly utilized, it can significantly affect the outcome of a pitch, both positively and adversely. Lower body generates force through the legs and transfers it upward. Core acts as the bridge between the lower and upper body. Upper body and arm fine-tunes the motion and delivers the pitch. Positive effects of a well-functioning kinetic chain. When the kinetic chain is operating optimally, the results can be remarkable. Take the example of Greg, a collegiate pitcher who struggled with velocity early in his career. After focusing on engaging his lower body and improving his hip-shoulder separation, Greg saw a dramatic increase in his pitching speed, from 85 miles per hour to 92 miles per hour within a year. By properly engaging his legs and core, Greg was able to transfer energy efficiently through his upper body, allowing his arm to focus on accuracy and finesse rather than overcompensating for lost power. His improved mechanics not only elevated performance, but also reduced post-game soreness and fatigue, adverse effects of a disrupted kinetic chain. On the flip side, consider James, a high school pitcher who unknowingly relied heavily on his arm to generate velocity. Despite having strong legs and a powerful core, James' mechanics failed to utilize these strengths. Over time, the excessive strain on his shoulder led to a rotator cuff injury that sidelined him for an entire season. James' story highlights the domino effect of a single weak link in the kinetic chain. When the lower body fails to contribute, the upper body bears an unsustainable burden, increasing the risk of injury. Biomechanical relationships. Biomechanics focuses on the movement and forces involved in pitching. Proper alignment and timing in these movements can maximize performance while minimizing strain. Conversely, inefficiencies can lead to both poor results and a heightened risk of injury. Positive biomechanical relationships. A prime example of positive biomechanical relationships is Hunter, a pitcher who mastered his stride length and timing. By synchronizing his hip rotation with the forward movement of his arm, Hunter was able to achieve exceptional accuracy and velocity. His mechanics allowed him to consistently hit his spots while maintaining a healthy arm. Hunter's story illustrates how biomechanical harmony, where all parts of the body work together in unison, can unlock a pitcher's full potential. Adverse biomechanical relationships. Conversely, misaligned biomechanics can lead to significant performance issues and injuries. Mark, a professional pitcher, developed a habit of landing too close during a stride. This minor flaw caused his hips to open late, forcing his arm to overcompensate. Over time, this biomechanical inefficiency led to a decrease in velocity and persistent elbow pain. Despite extensive rehab, the cumulative damage eventually required Tommy John surgery. Mark's experience underscores the importance of maintaining proper biomechanical relationships to ensure longevity and success on the mound. Practical applications. To leverage the kinetic chain and optimize biomechanical relationships. 1. Focus on lower body engagement. Incorporate drills like medicine ball throws and single leg balance exercises to strengthen the legs and core. 2. Assess timing and coordination. Use video analysis to evaluate the sequencing of your pitching motion and identify areas for improvement. 3. Emphasize hip-shoulder separation. Practice rotational drills to enhance torque and power generation. 4. Maintain proper alignment. Work on stride direction and posture to ensure an efficient energy transfer. By understanding and applying these principles, pitchers can refine their mechanics, improve performance, and reduce the risk of injury. I was no longer just a pitcher. I was a student of the game. The air was thick with anticipation, and the familiar sounds of cleats scraping against dirt and the crack of bats echoed in the background. Today, however, my focus was not just on throwing strikes or perfecting my mechanics. It was on understanding the biomechanics of pitching, the science behind the art. I had always been fascinated by how the body worked, especially in the context of sports. As a pitcher, I knew that my success depended not only on my skills, but also on how efficiently I could use my body to generate power and control. I had spent countless hours studying the mechanics of my delivery, but now it was time to delve deeper into the biomechanics that underpinned it all. As I towed the rubber, I took a moment to visualize my delivery. I recalled the key components of pitching biomechanics, the kinetic chain, the role of each body segment, and how they work together to produce velocity and accuracy. I remember my pitching coach explaining the kinetic chain as a series of movements that started from the ground up, transferring energy through the legs, hips, core, and finally into the arm. I began my wind-up, focusing on my lower body. I felt the ground beneath my feet, the stability of my legs as I lifted my front leg. The power generated in pitching starts with the legs. I pushed off the rubber, engaging my quadriceps and calves, feeling the energy build as I transferred it through my hips. This was the first crucial step in the kinetic chain. As I transitioned into my delivery, I concentrated on my core. I had learned that the core was the powerhouse of the body, responsible for stabilizing and transferring energy. I engaged my abdominal muscles, feeling the tension build as I rotated my hips toward the plate. This rotation was essential for generating torque, which would ultimately increase my throwing velocity. I released the ball, watching as it zipped toward the plate. The satisfying sound of the ball hitting the glove echoed in my ears. I had executed the pitch perfectly, and I could feel the confidence surging through me. But I knew that this was just one pitch. Consistency was key. After a few more throws, I took a moment to reflect on the biomechanics of my arm motion. I had learned that the arm should follow a specific path during the delivery to maximize efficiency and minimize the risk of injury. I focused on keeping my elbow above my shoulder during the throwing motion, allowing for a more natural and powerful release. This was crucial for maintaining the health of my shoulder and elbow joints. I remembered a conversation I had with a sports scientist who specialized in biomechanics. He had explained how improper arm mechanics could lead to injuries such as rotator cuff tears or ulnar collateral ligament, UCL, damage. Your arm is just a tool, he had said. It's your body that generates the power. If your mechanics are off, you're putting unnecessary stress on your arm. As I continued my practice, I focused on my follow-through. I had learned that a proper follow-through was just as important as the wind-up and delivery. It allowed my body to decelerate safely, reducing the risk of injury. I made sure to finish each pitch with my arm extended, my body balanced, and my head up, ready to field any potential ground balls. After a solid session of throwing, I gathered with my teammates for a discussion led by our pitching coach. He emphasized the importance of understanding biomechanics in relation to pitching performance. Every great pitcher you've ever heard of had one thing in common, he said, his voice steady and authoritative. They understood how their body worked and how to use it efficiently. He went on to explain how proper biomechanics could enhance pitch effectiveness. When you throw with the right form, you not only increase your velocity but also improve your accuracy. Your body becomes a well-oiled machine, and every pitch you throw is a reflection of that. I nodded in agreement, recalling the countless hours I had spent working on my mechanics. I had learned to break down my delivery into its individual components: the wind-up, the stride, the release, and the follow-through. Each part was essential, and neglecting any one of them could lead to inconsistency. As the season progressed, I noticed a significant improvement in my performance. My velocity had increased, and my control was sharper than ever. I attributed this success to my unwavering commitment to understanding the biomechanics of pitching. I felt more confident on the mound, knowing that I had laid a solid foundation for my pitching. One day, during a particularly intense practice, our pitching coach introduced a new drill aimed at enhancing our biomechanics. The drill involved using video analysis to break down our deliveries frame by frame. We watched ourselves pitch, analyzing our mechanics, and identifying areas for improvement. It was eye-opening to see how small adjustments could lead to significant gains in performance. I could see where my arm path had been inconsistent and how my follow-through could be more fluid. After reviewing the footage, I made a conscious effort to implement the changes. I focused on synchronizing my movements, ensuring that each part of my body worked in harmony. The more I practiced, the more natural it felt, and I could sense the difference in my pitches. They were sharper, faster, and more precise. As we continued to refine our biomechanics, I began to appreciate the importance of recovery and injury prevention. I learned that understanding how to care for my body was just as crucial as mastering my mechanics. Stretching, strengthening exercises, and proper nutrition became integral parts of my routine. I sought advice from trainers and sports medicine professionals, eager to learn how to keep my body in peak condition. One afternoon, I attended a workshop on injury prevention specifically tailored for pitchers. The speaker, a renowned physical therapist, discussed common injuries and the biomechanics behind them. He emphasized the importance of maintaining flexibility and strength in the shoulder and elbow, as well as the need for proper warm-up routines. I took notes diligently, eager to apply this knowledge to my training. With each passing week, I felt more empowered as a pitcher. The combination of understanding biomechanics, refining my mechanics, and prioritizing my health transformed my approach to the game. I was no longer just throwing the ball. I was executing a well-thought-out plan that involved my entire body working in unison. I reflected on how far I had come. The lessons I had learned about biomechanics had not only improved my performance, but had also instilled a sense of confidence in my abilities. I felt ready to face any challenge that came my way, armed with the knowledge that I had put in the work to understand my body and how to use it effectively. On the day of the first playoff game, I took the mound, feeling the weight of the moment. The crowd was electric, and I could hear the cheers of my teammates. I took a deep breath, recalling everything I had learned about biomechanics and the importance of executing my mechanics flawlessly. I visualized my delivery, focusing on the kinetic chain that would propel the ball toward the plate. As I began to pitch, I felt a familiar surge of energy coursing through my legs and into my core. I pushed off the rubber with confidence, engaging my muscles as I rotated my hips. The rhythm of my motion felt natural, a culmination of all the practice and understanding I had gained over the season. With each pitch, I reminded myself to maintain proper arm mechanics, keeping my elbow above my shoulder and ensuring a smooth release. The ball flew from my hand with precision, and I could see the results of my hard work reflected in the sharpness of my pitches. The crowd erupted with each strike, and I felt a sense of pride in my performance. As the game progressed, I remained focused on my biomechanics, ensuring that I executed my follow-through with care. I knew that every detail mattered, and I was determined to protect my arm while maximizing my effectiveness on the mound. The adrenaline surged through me, but I kept my composure, trusting in the training that had brought me to this moment. In the final innings, as the pressure mounted, I leaned on the mental strategies I had developed throughout the season. I took deep breaths, visualized success, and reminded myself that I was in control. The lessons learned about biomechanics and the importance of a strong mental game intertwined, creating a solid foundation for my performance. When the last out was recorded, I felt an overwhelming sense of accomplishment. We had won the game, and I knew that my understanding of biomechanics had played a crucial role in our success. As I celebrated with my teammates, I reflected on the journey that had brought us here, the mistakes, the lessons, and the relentless pursuit of improvement. In the days that followed, I continued to analyze my performance, seeking ways to refine my mechanics even further. I watched game footage, consulted with my pitching coach, and engaged in discussions with my teammates about our experiences. The commitment to understanding the biomechanics of pitching had become a shared goal, and we were all eager to learn from one another. I felt a renewed sense of purpose. Each game was an opportunity to apply what I had learned, to push the boundaries of my abilities, and to embrace the science behind the art of pitching. I was no longer just a pitcher. I was a student of the game, dedicated to mastering the intricacies of my craft. With each pitch, I honored the biomechanics that guided my movements, knowing that they were the key to unlocking my full potential. The journey was far from over, but I was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, armed with the knowledge and skills I had developed throughout the season. The mound was my stage, and I was determined to make every moment count. Chapter 5: Arm Care and Strength Training. Importance of Strength and Conditioning. Strength and conditioning play a pivotal role in supporting proper pitching mechanics and maintaining arm health. A well-designed program targets the entire body, with a particular focus on the legs, core, and shoulders. Neglecting these areas can leave a pitcher vulnerable to injury and diminished performance. A positive example, Dennis's comeback. Dennis, a minor league pitcher, was plagued by shoulder fatigue during his first season. His coaches discovered that his training regimen lacked emphasis on core and shoulder stability. By incorporating exercises like planks, Turkish get-ups, and resistance band shoulder workouts, Dennis improved his endurance and velocity. In his second season, he added 3 miles per hour to his fastball and pitched a career-high 120 innings without any shoulder discomfort. This turnaround demonstrated the value of a comprehensive strength training program tailored to a pitcher's needs. An adverse example, Eric's overemphasis on upper body. Eric, a college pitcher, prioritized heavy bench presses and bicep curls in his workouts, neglecting his lower body and rotational strength. While his upper body looked impressive, his performance on the mound suffered. Without a strong foundation from his legs and core, Eric's velocity stagnated, and he experienced frequent lower back pain. After consulting a pitching coach, he shifted his focus to deadlifts, lunges, and medicine ball rotations. Though it took months, Eric's new regimen restored his health and improved his pitching velocity by 4 miles per hour. Key exercises for pitchers. 1. Medicine ball rotational throws. Builds core strength and enhances rotational power, crucial for generating torque during the pitching motion. 2. Single leg deadlifts. Strengthens the hamstrings and glutes while improving balance, key for stability in the pitching stride. 3. Scapular push UPS. Focuses on shoulder stability, reducing the risk of rotator cuff injuries. 4. Plank variations. Engages the entire core, providing a solid foundation for energy transfer to the kinetic chain. 5. Resistance band external rotations. Strengthens the smaller stabilizing muscles in the shoulder, which are critical for durability and injury prevention. 6. Lateral lunges. Enhances hip mobility and strength, aiding in a more powerful and efficient stride. Arm care protocols for strength and maintenance. Effective arm care protocols are critical for building strength, maintaining performance, and preventing injuries over the long term. These routines should focus on pre-throwing warm-ups, post-throwing recovery, and targeted maintenance exercises. Pre-throwing arm care. 1. Dynamic arm circles. Increases blood flow to the shoulder and prepares the rotator cuff for activity. 2. J-band warm UPS. Resistance band exercises designed to activate the shoulder and arm muscles. 3. Wrist rolls with a weighted ball. Activates the forearm muscles and promotes stability. 4. Dynamic stretches. Include thoracic spine rotations and hip flexor stretches to ensure full body readiness. Post-throwing recovery. 1. Cool down throwing. Gradually reduce throwing intensity over 10 to 15 throws to ease the arm back to rest. 2. Ice therapy. Apply ice packs to the shoulder and elbow for 15 to 20 minutes to reduce inflammation. 3. Light stretching. Focus on the shoulders, arms, and back to maintain flexibility. 4. Foam rolling. Roll out the lats, traps, and upper back to release tension. Maintenance exercises. 1. Sleeper stretch. Improve shoulder internal rotation and flexibility. 2. Thoracic extensions. Promotes mobility in the upper back, which is essential for maintaining proper arm path. 3. Shoulder isometrics. Builds endurance in the stabilizing muscles of the shoulder. 4. Forearm curls and extensions. Strengthens the forearm muscles to reduce stress on the elbow joint. The role of recovery in strength training. Just as important as the exercises themselves is allowing adequate recovery. Overtraining can lead to fatigue and injury, negating the benefits of even the best regimen. Example, Tom's overtraining pitfall. Tom, a high school pitcher, was eager to impress college scouts. He trained tirelessly, throwing long bullpen sessions and lifting weights daily without rest days. Initially, his velocity improved, but fatigue soon set in, and he developed tendinitis in his elbow. Forced to sit out his senior season, Tom learned the hard way that rest and recovery are integral to any training program. When he returned, he followed a structured plan that included rest days, active recovery, and mobility work, enabling him to perform at his peak during games. Strength training tips for pitchers. 1. Focus on functional movements. Prioritize exercises that mimic pitching mechanics and build transferable strength. 2. Periodize training. Adjust workout intensity based on season to avoid burnout. 3. Warm up properly. Incorporate dynamic stretches and light cardio before workouts to prepare the body. 4. Cool down with mobility work. Use foam rolling and stretching to promote recovery and flexibility. By adopting a balanced approach to arm care and strength training, pitchers can enhance their performance, extend their careers, and reduce the risk of injury. Plyometric movements for pitchers. Why plyometrics matter. Plyometric exercises involve explosive, rapid movements that enhance power, speed, and coordination. For pitchers, plyometrics are invaluable for improving mechanics, increasing throwing velocity, and reinforcing the kinetic chain. By focusing on explosive strength, pitchers can better transfer energy from their legs and core to their arm, resulting in more efficient and powerful pitches. Key plyometric exercises. 1. Medicine ball overhead slam. Purpose: to build core power and reinforce energy transfer. Instructions: hold a medicine ball overhead and explosively slam it to the ground. Catch the rebound if possible. Perform 3 sets of 10 slams. 2. Bounding drills. Purpose: to enhance leg drive and explosive lower body power. Instructions: perform exaggerated running strides, focusing on distance and power with each step. Perform 3 sets of 10 bounds per leg. 3. Box jumps. Purpose: to improve leg explosiveness and vertical power. Instructions: jump onto a sturdy box or platform, land softly, and step down. Perform 3 sets of 8 jumps. 4. Rotational medicine ball throws. Purpose: to develop rotational power and core stability. Instructions: stand sideways to a wall with a medicine ball. Rotate your torso and explosively throw the ball against the wall. Perform 3 sets of 8 throws per side. 5. Lateral hops. Purpose: to strengthen the legs and improve lateral stability. Instructions: jump side to side over a cone or line, landing softly each time. Perform 3 sets of 15 hops. The impact of plyometrics on pitching mechanics. When integrated into a pitcher's training routine, plyometric exercises enhance the explosive power required for efficient pitching mechanics. These exercises improve leg drive, essential for creating momentum and energy transfer. Strengthen the core, which is critical for stability and rotational power. Enhance coordination and timing within the kinetic chain. By focusing on plyometrics, pitchers can see improvements in their velocity, command, and durability, while also reducing the risk of injury through better mechanics and strength. I was ready to embrace the future. The crisp morning air filled the stadium as I arrived for practice, the sun just beginning to rise over the horizon. I could hear the faint sounds of my teammates warming up in the distance. But today, my focus was on something crucial: arm care and strength training. As a pitcher, I understood that my arm was my most valuable asset, and taking care of it was paramount to my success and longevity in the game. I had learned the hard way that neglecting arm care could lead to injuries that could sideline me for weeks, if not months. I had seen talented pitchers fall victim to shoulder and elbow injuries, their careers derailed by a lack of proper maintenance. I was determined not to let that happen to me. As I stepped onto the field, I was greeted by my pitching coach, who was setting up for our arm care routine. Today, we're going to focus on some key exercises to strengthen your arm and prevent injuries, he said, his tone serious but encouraging. Remember, taking care of your arm is just as important as throwing strikes. We began with a dynamic warm-up, focusing on mobility and flexibility. I knew that a proper warm-up was essential for preparing my muscles and joints for the demands of pitching. We started with arm circles, gradually increasing the range of motion. I felt the tension in my shoulders begin to ease as I moved through the exercises. Next, we transitioned to resistance band exercises. I had learned that resistance bands were a valuable tool for building strength in the shoulder and rotator cuff muscles. I grabbed a band and attached it to a sturdy post, then began performing external rotations. I focused on maintaining proper form, keeping my elbow close to my body as I pulled the band outward. Each repetition was a reminder of the importance of strengthening the muscles that supported my arm. After completing the external rotations, we moved on to internal rotations. I felt the burn in my shoulder as I worked through the sets, knowing that this was an investment in my future. I could already see the benefits of these exercises in my performance on the mound, and I was committed to making them a regular part of my routine. Once we finished with the bands, we transitioned to some light weightlifting. I had learned that strength training was essential for building the muscles that supported my pitching motion. We focused on compound movements that engaged multiple muscle groups, such as squats and deadlifts. I understood that a strong lower body was crucial for generating power and stability during my delivery. As I lifted, I paid close attention to my form. I knew that proper technique was vital to prevent injuries and maximize the effectiveness of each exercise. I felt the strength in my legs and core as I pushed through the sets, knowing that this foundation would translate to better performance on the mound. After our strength training session, we moved on to core exercises. I learned that a strong core was essential for maintaining balance and stability during my pitching motion. We performed planks, Russian twists, and medicine ball throws, focusing on engaging my abdominal muscles. I could feel the burn, but I welcomed it. I knew that this was what it took to become a better pitcher. As we wrapped up our workout, I took a moment to reflect on the importance of arm care and strength training. I had learned that taking care of my arm was not just about avoiding injuries. It was about enhancing my performance. A strong, healthy arm allowed me to throw harder, with greater control and precision. In the days that followed, I made it a point to prioritize arm care in my training regimen. I incorporated a variety of exercises designed to strengthen my shoulder and forearm muscles, focusing on both resistance training and mobility work. I also paid close attention to my recovery routine, understanding that rest and rehabilitation were just as important as the workouts themselves. I began to implement a post-throwing routine that included stretching and foam rolling. I had learned that proper recovery could help prevent soreness and tightness in my muscles. After each practice, I would spend time rolling out my shoulders, forearms, and back, releasing any tension that had built up during my throwing sessions. One afternoon, I attended a workshop on arm care and injury prevention led by a sports physical therapist. The therapist emphasized the importance of listening to my body and recognizing signs of fatigue or strain. Your arm and shoulder is like any other muscle in your body, he explained. It needs time to recover and rebuild after intense use. Don't ignore the warning signs. I took his advice to heart, making a conscious effort to monitor how my arm felt after each practice and game. If I noticed any discomfort or fatigue, I would adjust my training accordingly, incorporating more rest days or focusing on recovery techniques. As the season progressed, I noticed a significant improvement in my arm strength and overall performance. I felt more confident on the mound, knowing that I had taken the necessary steps to care for my arm. My velocity had increased, and my control was sharper than ever. I attributed this success to my commitment to arm care and strength training, which had become an integral part of my routine. My pitching coach was always great about providing us with variety. Today, he introduced a new arm care drill that focused on shoulder stability. We used weighted balls to enhance our throwing mechanics while also building strength. I could feel the difference in my arm as I threw, the added weight forcing me to engage my muscles more effectively. It was challenging, but I welcomed the opportunity to push my limits. After the drill, I felt a sense of success. I had learned that strength training was not just about lifting heavy weights. It was about functional strength that translated to my performance on the mound. I began to appreciate the connection between my workouts and my pitching, realizing that every rep was a step toward becoming a better athlete. I remained diligent in my arm care routine. I made sure to incorporate mobility exercises into my warm-up, ensuring that my muscles were primed for action. I also continued to focus on my strength training, knowing that maintaining my physical condition was crucial for peak performance during the high-stakes games. On game days, I developed a pre-game ritual that included a thorough warm-up and arm care routine. I would start with dynamic stretches, followed by resistance band exercises to activate my shoulder muscles. This preparation became a mental cue, signaling to my body that it was time to perform. I felt the culmination of my hard work. Each pitch was a testament to the strength I had built and the care I had taken with my arm. I could feel the power in my throws, the confidence in my mechanics, and the stability in my shoulder. The combination of arm care and strength training had transformed my approach to pitching, allowing me to compete at a higher level. After each game, I continued to prioritize recovery. I would spend time stretching and using the foam roller, ensuring that my muscles were ready for the next challenge. I also made a point to hydrate and refuel my body with nutritious meals, understanding that proper nutrition played a vital role in my overall performance. As the season ended, I reflected on the journey I had taken in mastering arm care and strength training. I learned valuable lessons about the importance of maintaining my body, listening to its signals, and investing in my health. The commitment to these practices had not only improved my performance, but had also instilled a sense of discipline and responsibility in my training. Looking ahead, I knew that the off-season would be an opportunity to further enhance my arm care routine. I plan to work with trainers to develop a comprehensive strength training program tailored to my needs as a pitcher. I was excited about the prospect of building on the foundation I had established and continuing to grow as an athlete. With each passing day, I felt more empowered and prepared for challenges that lay ahead. The lessons I had learned about arm care and strength training would remain with me, guiding my journey as a pitcher. I was ready to embrace the future, armed with the knowledge and skills to protect my most valuable asset, my arm. Chapter 6, Recovery and Injury Prevention. Why recovery matters. Recovery is an essential element of pitching that cannot be overlooked. It allows the body to repair and adapt, ensuring that pitchers can perform consistently at their best while minimizing the risk of injury. Proper recovery practices enhance muscle regeneration, reduce inflammation, and promote mental clarity, all of which are critical for long-term success on the mound. Here are 5 key core points about recovery. 1. Consistency over time. Recovery is not a one-time effort, but consistent practice that helps maintain peak performance and extend a pitcher's career. 2. Customized approach. Every pitcher's body responds differently, so recovery routines should be tailored to individual needs and physical demands. 3. Integrated techniques. Effective recovery combines physical, mental, and nutritional strategies to create a holistic approach. 4. Early intervention. Prompt attention to minor discomforts during recovery can prevent them from escalating into significant injuries. 5. Mental reset. Recovery is not just physical. It provides an opportunity to mentally recharge and reflect on performance, which is crucial for resilience on the mound. A positive example: Carlos' balanced routine. Carlos, a professional pitcher, credits his longevity in the game to his meticulous recovery routine. After every start, Carlos follows a structured post-game protocol: light cardio to flush out lactic acid, a 20-minute session in the ice bath, and targeted stretching for his shoulders and hips. On his rest days, he incorporates yoga and light swimming to stay loose. Thanks to these practices, Carlos has avoided major injuries throughout his 12-year career and remains a reliable ace for his team. An adverse example: Mike's missed warning signs. Mike, a standout high school pitcher, had a bright future ahead of him, with scouts already showing interest. However, he often neglected recovery, believing that more throwing equaled more improvement. After one particularly grueling week of back-to-back starts and bullpen sessions, Mike experienced sharp elbow pain, but continued pitching through it. The result was a torn ulnar collateral ligament (UCL), requiring Tommy John surgery and a year of rehabilitation. Mike's story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of ignoring recovery and pushing through pain. Key components of recovery. 1. Active recovery. Light activities such as jogging, cycling, or swimming can promote blood flow and accelerate muscle repair. Examples. 1. 15-minute jog at a slow pace after a game. 2. Cycling on a stationary bike for 10 to 20 minutes to reduce muscle stiffness. 3. Swimming laps at low intensity for 10 minutes. 4. Taking a brisk 30-minute walk to loosen up the lower body. 5. Dynamic warm-ups like arm swings or leg swings to promote mobility. 2. Stretching and mobility work. Dynamic and static stretches help maintain flexibility and range of motion in the shoulders, hips, and back. Examples. 1. Cross-body shoulder stretch to improve flexibility and release tension in the posterior shoulder. 2. Thoracic spine rotations for improving upper back flexibility. 3. Hamstring stretches to support lower body movement. 4. Butterfly stretch to open up the hips. 5. Overhead tricep stretches to loosen up throwing arm muscles. Dynamic and static stretches help maintain flexibility and range of motion in the shoulders, hips, and back. Example. Incorporating stretches like the sleeper stretch and thoracic spine rotations can prevent tightness from becoming a chronic issue. 3. Ice and heat therapy. Ice baths or localized icing can reduce inflammation, while heat therapy can relax muscles and improve circulation. Examples. 1. 20-minute ice bath immediately after a game to reduce inflammation. 2. Applying ice packs on the elbow and shoulder for 15 minutes post-throwing. 3. Using a heating pad on the lower back before games to increase blood flow. 4. Alternating between hot and cold tubs for 10 minutes each to promote recovery. 5. Using hot towels on tight muscles to alleviate stiffness before stretching. 4. Sleep and nutrition. Quality sleep and proper nutrition are the foundation of recovery. Adequate protein intake and hydration are particularly important for muscle repair. Examples. 1. Aiming for 8 to 9 hours of uninterrupted sleep. 2. Consuming a protein shake within 30 minutes after a game. 3. Eating a post-game meal with grilled chicken, sweet potatoes, and steamed broccoli. 4. Staying hydrated by drinking at least half your body weight in ounces of water daily. 5. Incorporating anti-inflammatory foods like salmon, turmeric, and leafy greens into meals. Quality sleep and proper nutrition are the foundation of recovery. Adequate protein intake and hydration are particularly important for muscle repair. Example. Pitchers should aim for 8+ hours of sleep and a post-game meal rich in lean protein, complex carbs, and healthy fats. Long-term benefits of recovery. Investing in recovery not only helps prevent injuries, but also ensures sustained performance. Pitchers who prioritize recovery often experience increased velocity, better command, and fewer setbacks due to fatigue or overuse injuries. Example, Ryan's transformation. Ryan, a struggling college pitcher, saw his performance decline during his sophomore year due to constant shoulder soreness. After consulting a trainer, he implemented a rigorous recovery plan, including post-throwing ice baths, daily band exercises, and bi-weekly massages. By the start of his junior year, Ryan was throwing harder and more accurately, earning him a spot in the starting rotation and catching the attention of pro scouts. Tips for coaches and parents. Encourage young pitchers to communicate openly about discomfort or fatigue. Emphasize the importance of recovery just as much as training and competition. Monitor pitch counts and rest periods to avoid overuse injuries. By integrating these recovery strategies, pitchers can protect their arms, optimize their performance, and enjoy longer, healthier careers on the mound. Prioritizing rest and actively taking care of my health. Early in my career, I had pushed through fatigue, ignoring the warning signs my body was sending me. I had thrown one too many pitches without proper recovery, and it had cost me dearly, a shoulder strain that sidelined me for weeks. That experience taught me that taking care of my body was paramount to my success and longevity in the game. As I walked off the field, I made my way to the training room, where our athletic trainer was waiting. Today, we're going to focus on key components of recovery that will help keep you healthy throughout the season, he said, his tone serious but encouraging. Remember, recovery is not just about resting. It's about actively taking care of your body. We began with a dynamic stretching routine, which I knew was essential for promoting flexibility and preventing tightness in my muscles. I followed the trainer's lead as we moved through a series of stretches targeting my shoulders, arms, and back. I held each stretch for at least 30 seconds, feeling the tension release with each breath. Stretching is crucial for maintaining flexibility and range of motion, the trainer explained. It helps prevent injuries and prepares your muscles for the demands of pitching. After our stretching session, we transitioned to mobility work. I had learned that maintaining joint mobility was vital for preventing injuries, especially in the shoulder and elbow. We performed a series of dynamic movements, such as arm swings and torso twists, to enhance our range of motion. I felt the fluidity in my movements improve, and I knew that this would translate to better performance on the mound. Once we finished with mobility work, we moved on to some light swimming laps in the nearby pool. I had discovered that swimming was an excellent low-impact exercise that helped promote recovery. The water provided resistance, while also allowing my muscles to relax. As I glided to the water, I focused on my breathing and technique, feeling the tension in my shoulders and arms dissipating with each stroke. Swimming is great for active recovery, the trainer said. It helps improve circulation and reduces muscle soreness without putting stress on your joints. After our swim, we returned to the training room for ice and heat therapy. I had learned that alternating between ice and heat could be incredibly beneficial for recovery. Ice therapy helped reduce inflammation and numb any soreness, while heat therapy increased blood flow and relaxed tight muscles. I settled into a comfortable chair, wrapping an ice pack around my shoulder. I usually ice for about 15 to 20 minutes after intense workouts. I explained to a teammate who was curious about my routine. It helps keep inflammation down and speeds up recovery. Once I finish with the ice, I switch to heat therapy. I use a heating pad on my shoulder, allowing the warmth to penetrate my muscles. I could feel the tension melting away, and I welcome the relief. Heat therapy is great for loosening up tight muscles and preparing them for the next workout. The trainer added, just make sure to use it after the initial inflammation has gone down. As we wrapped up our recovery session, I took a moment to reflect on the importance of these techniques. I had learned that recovery was not just about resting. It was about actively taking care of my body. Each component, stretching, mobility work, swimming, and ice and heat therapy, played a vital role in keeping me healthy and performing at my best. In the days that followed, I continued to prioritize recovery in my training regimen. I incorporated a variety of techniques designed to enhance my recovery and prevent injuries. I began to pay closer attention to my nutrition, understanding that what I put into my body played a significant role in my recovery process. I focused on consuming a balanced diet rich in protein, healthy fats, and carbohydrates to fuel my workouts and aid in muscle repair. I also made it a point to stay hydrated. I had learned that dehydration could lead to muscle cramps and fatigue, so I carried a water bottle with me everywhere. I set reminders on my phone to ensure I was drinking enough water throughout the day, especially after practices and games. One afternoon, I attended a workshop on recovery techniques led by a sports medicine specialist. The speaker emphasized the importance of recognizing the early signs of fatigue and taking proactive measures. Your body needs time to recover and rebuild after intense use, he explained. Incorporating a variety of recovery techniques will help you stay healthy and perform at your best. I took his advice to heart, making a conscious effort to monitor how my body felt after each practice and game. If I noticed any discomfort or fatigue, I would adjust my recovery routine accordingly, incorporating more stretching or additional swimming sessions. I learned to be proactive rather than reactive, understanding that early intervention could prevent more serious issues down the line. As the season progressed, I noticed a significant improvement in my overall performance and well-being. I felt more energized, and my recovery times were shorter than ever. This success was a direct result of my commitment to recovery, which had become an integral part of my routine. One day, after a grueling practice, I decided to try a new recovery technique, foam rolling. I had heard about its benefits for muscle recovery and tension relief. I grabbed a foam roller and began working on my legs and back, rolling out any knots and tight spots. Foam rolling is fantastic for breaking up muscle adhesions and improving blood flow, I recalled the trainer saying. I could feel the tension release with each roll, and I knew this would help me recover faster. After my foam rolling session, I took the time to ice my shoulder again, following the same routine I had established. I wrapped an ice pack around my shoulder and settled into a comfortable chair, allowing the cold to soothe my muscles. I reflected on how far I had come in understanding the importance of recovery. In the following weeks, I continued to implement the strategies I had learned. I scheduled regular sessions with our athletic trainer to assess my recovery progress and ensure that I was on track. We discussed my training load and adjusted as necessary, ensuring that I was not overworking my body. I also began incorporating yoga into my routine, which helped improve my flexibility and mental focus. I felt a renewed sense of confidence in my body. I had learned to trust my instincts and listen to what my body was telling me. I was no longer afraid to take a step back when needed, knowing that it would ultimately benefit my performance on the mound. On game days, I developed a comprehensive pregame routine that included not only warm-ups but also recovery techniques. I would arrive early to the field, allowing myself ample time to stretch, foam roll, and mentally prepare for the game ahead. This routine became a ritual that grounded me and set the tone for my performance. I felt the culmination of my hard work and dedication to recovery. Each pitch was executed with precision, and I could feel the strength in my arm. I was able to maintain my velocity and control throughout the games, a testament to the care I had taken with my body. After each game, I continued to prioritize recovery. I would spend time in the training room, utilizing ice baths and compression therapy to aid in muscle recovery. I also made sure to refuel my body with nutritious meals, focusing on protein-rich foods to support muscle repair. I reflected on the journey I had taken in developing these recovery techniques. I learned valuable lessons about the importance of listening to my body, prioritizing rest, and actively taking care of my health. The commitment to these practices had not only improved my performance, but had also instilled a sense of discipline and responsibility in my training. Chapter 7. Mental Toughness on the Mound. Baseball is 90% mental, and the other half is physical. Yogi Berra. The importance of mental toughness. Mental toughness is a defining trait of successful pitchers. While physical skills are essential, the ability to maintain focus, manage pressure, and rebound from setbacks often separates great pitchers from the rest. Baseball is a game of failure, and pitchers, more than any other position, must develop the mindset to thrive in high-pressure situations. Key elements of mental toughness. 1. Focus under pressure. The ability to block out distractions and stay locked in on the task at hand. Example. A pitcher on the mound with bases loaded and no outs must focus on executing each pitch, rather than worrying about potential outcomes. 2. Emotional regulation. Maintaining composure and not letting emotions dictate performance. Example. A pitcher who gives up a home run can't dwell on the mistake, but must reset and approach the next batter with confidence. 3. Visualization and positive self-talk. Visualizing success and using affirmations to build confidence. Example. Greg Maddux often spoke about imagine the perfect pitch before delivering it, which helped him execute with precision. 4. Resilience and adaptability. Bouncing back quickly from poor outings or challenging innings. Example. Clayton Kershaw's ability to recover after a rough playoff performance and dominate in subsequent starts illustrates resilience. 5. Game awareness and strategy. Understanding situational baseball and making smart decisions. Example. A pitcher who notices a batter's tendencies during earlier at-bats can exploit them in later innings. A positive example, Tom's mental game. Tom was an undersized pitcher who relied on guile and strategy to succeed. In a championship game, he faced a lineup of power hitters who had feasted on fastballs all season. Instead of trying to overpower them, Tom stayed calm and executed his game plan, mixing in off-speed pitches and keeping hitters off balance. His ability to think 2 steps ahead and stay focused helped his team secure the win. An adverse example, Jake struggled with pressure. Jake had all the physical tools, a mid-90s fastball and a devastating slider. However, he struggled in big-game situations, often letting his emotions get the better of him. In one playoff game, after giving up a 3-run homer, Jake lost his composure, walking the next 3 batters and forcing his coach to pull him. Jake's story highlights the importance of developing emotional resilience to handle adversity. Strategies to build mental toughness. 1. Practice under pressure. Simulate game-like situations in practice to build comfort with high-stakes scenarios. Example. Pitching with a 3-2 count and the bases loaded during bullpen sessions. 2. Mindfulness and breathing exercises. Techniques to stay present and manage stress. Example. Taking a deep breath before every pitch to reset and refocus. 3. Journaling and reflection. Writing down thoughts after games to identify patterns and areas for improvement. Example. Keeping a pitching journal to track both successes and struggles. 4. Role models and mentorship. Learning from experienced pitchers who have excelled in high-pressure situations. Example. Watching interviews or seeking advice from pitchers like Max Scherzer, who emphasizes the mental side of the game. 5. Goal setting. Breaking down long-term objectives into manageable short-term goals. Example. Aiming to throw first pitch strikes to at least 70% of batters in a game. Long-term benefits of mental toughness. Developing mental toughness not only enhances performance on the mound, but also builds character and resilience that extend beyond baseball. Pitchers who master the mental aspects of the game are better equipped to handle adversity, lead their teams, and sustain success over long careers. I learned to embrace my nerves. The stadium lights flickered to life as I stepped onto the mound. the familiar scent of freshly cut grass and chalk dust filling the air. The crowd buzzed with anticipation, a living organism of hope and anxiety. I could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on me, but I had learned that mental toughness was just as crucial as physical skill in the game of baseball. As I jumped on the mound, I took a deep breath, centering myself. I had faced countless challenges on the mound, but this was different. The playoffs were in full swing, and the stakes were higher than ever. I could feel the adrenaline coursing through my veins, but I also felt the familiar flutter of nerves. I had learned to embrace that feeling, to use it as fuel rather than let it overwhelm me. I glanced at my catcher, Jake, who was crouched behind the plate, his mask glinting in the bright lights. We had developed a rhythm over the years, a silent understanding that allowed us to communicate without words. He flashed a sign, and I nodded, feeling a surge of confidence. This was our moment, and we were ready. As the first batter stepped up, I reminded myself of the importance of mental toughness. I had learned that the game was as much a mental battle as it was a physical one. Every pitch was a test of my focus, my composure, and my ability to stay present in the moment. I took a deep breath, visualizing the pitch I wanted to throw. The first pitch was crucial. I needed to establish my presence, to let the batter know that I was in control. I wound up and delivered a fastball, painting the outside corner. The crack of the bat echoed through the stadium, but the ball sailed harmlessly into the glove of Jake. I could feel the tension in my shoulders ease just a bit, but I knew better than to get cocky. This was a game of chess, and I was only a few moves in. I glanced at the dugout, where my teammates were leaning forward, eyes glued to the action. They believed in me, and I couldn't let them down. I took a moment to reset, breathing in the atmosphere, letting the noise wash over me. The next batter was a different story. He was a seasoned hitter, known for his ability to capitalize on mistakes. I had to be careful. I decided to throw a curveball, a pitch I had been working on all season. I wound up, feeling the familiar rhythm of my body as I released the ball. It broke sharply, dipping just below the batter's swing. Strike one. The crowd erupted, and I could feel the adrenaline surge again. But I couldn't let the excitement distract me. I had to stay focused, stay sharp. I glanced at Jake, who signaled for a changeup. It was a risky pitch, but I trusted my instincts. I nodded, and as I wound up, I focused on the target. The ball slipped from my fingers, a perfect deception, and the batter swung early, his frustration palpable as he missed completely. Strike two. With 2 strikes against him, I felt the pressure mount. I took a deep breath, reminding myself to trust my training. I had faced tougher situations before, and I knew I had the skills to get through this. I delivered a slider, and the batter swung, but it was a swing and a miss. Strike 3. The crowd erupted into cheers, and I felt a rush of satisfaction. But I knew that mental toughness was about more than just executing pitches. It was about maintaining composure in the face of adversity. As the game progressed, I faced a series of challenges that tested my resolve. I could feel the pressure building with each inning, and I had to remind myself to stay present, to focus on the task at hand. In the 4th inning, I found myself in a tight situation. The bases were loaded, and the opposing team's best hitter was at the plate. I could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on me, but I refused to let it overwhelm me. I took a deep breath, visualizing success. I reminded myself of the countless hours I had spent preparing for this moment. I was ready. I glanced at Jake, who signaled for a fastball. I nodded, knowing that this was the right call. I wound up, focusing on my mechanics, and released the ball. The fastball zipped toward the plate, and the batter swung hard, but it was too high. Strike 1. The crowd held its breath, and I could feel their energy fueling my determination. With each pitch, I focused on my breathing, reminding myself to stay calm and composed. I had learned that mental toughness was about controlling my emotions, especially in high-pressure situations. I followed up with a curveball, aiming for the lower part of the zone. The batter swung again, but this time he connected, sending a ground ball toward shortstop. The infielder sprang into action, and I watched as the ball was fielded cleanly. The throw to home was perfect, and the runner was out. I felt a wave of relief wash over me. but I knew the battle was far from over. As the game continued, I faced more challenges, each one testing my mental fortitude. I had learned to embrace the pressure, to see it as an opportunity rather than a burden. Each time I stepped onto the mound, I reminded myself of the countless hours of practice, the drills, and the mental exercises I had undertaken to prepare for moments like these. In between innings, I took the time to reset my mind. I would sit in the dugout, visualizing my next pitches, focusing on mechanics and the strategy. I had developed a mantra that I repeated to myself: stay calm, stay focused, trust your training. This simple phrase became my anchor, grounding me in the midst of chaos. As the game neared its conclusion, I could feel the tension in the air. The opposing team was rallying, and I had to dig deep to maintain my composure. I reminded myself that mental toughness was not just about being strong. It was about being adaptable. I adjusted my approach, focusing on the next pitch rather than the outcome of the game. With 2 outs in the 9th inning, I faced the final batter. The crowd was on its feet, the noise deafening. I took a moment to breathe, blocking out the distractions. I visualized the pitch I wanted to throw, feeling the familiar rhythm of my body. I wound up and delivered a fastball, and as the batter swung, I felt a sense of clarity wash over me. The ball hit the glove with a satisfying thud. Strike one. The next pitch was crucial. I decided to throw a changeup, a pitch that had served me well throughout the game. I focused on my mechanics, ensuring that I executed it perfectly. The batter swung, but the ball dropped just out of reach. Strike two. The crowd roared, and I could feel the energy surging through me. With 2 strikes against him, I knew I had to finish strong. I took a deep breath, reminding myself to trust my instincts. I delivered a slider, and the batter swung wildly, missing completely. Strike 3. The game was over, and the crowd erupted into cheers. I had done it. I had faced the pressure and emerged victorious. As I walked off the mound, I felt a sense of pride wash over me. I had not only showcased my physical skills, but had also demonstrated the mental toughness that I had worked so hard to cultivate. I knew that this victory was a testament to my dedication, both on and off the field. In the days that followed, I reflected on the importance of mental toughness in my journey as a pitcher. I had learned that it was not just about the physical aspect of the game. It was about the mindset I brought to each challenge. I began to incorporate mental training into my routine, focusing on visualization techniques, mindfulness, and positive self-talk. I sought out resources on mental conditioning, reading books, and attending workshops that emphasize the psychological aspects of sports. I learned about the power of visualization, practicing it daily to prepare for upcoming games. I would close my eyes and imagine myself on a mound, executing each pitch with precision and confidence. I also began to work with a sports psychologist who helped me develop strategies for managing pressure and maintaining focus. We practiced techniques for staying present in the moment, allowing me to block out distractions and concentrate on the task at hand. I learned to embrace my nerves, using them as a source of energy rather than letting them hinder my performance. As the season progressed, I noticed a significant shift in my mindset. I felt more confident and composed on the mound, able to handle the pressures of the game with ease. I had developed a mental toolkit that allowed me to navigate challenges and setbacks, reinforcing my belief in my abilities. Looking ahead, I knew that mental toughness would continue to be a vital component of my success as a pitcher. I was committed to nurturing this aspect of my game, understanding that it was just as important as my physical training. With each pitch, I would carry the lessons I had learned, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead with resilience and determination. Chapter 8. Key drills to improve pitching mechanics. The importance of drills. Drills are essential tools for building and refining the skills necessary for successful pitching. They target specific areas of mechanics, strength, and mental acuity to ensure that a pitcher can perform efficiently and consistently. This chapter explores balance, power, and accuracy drills, providing detailed instructions and insights into their importance. Key drills. 1. Balance drills. Balance is foundational to proper pitching mechanics. It ensures stability throughout the pitching motion, allowing for greater control and consistency. Drill: one-leg balance throw. O. Purpose, to improve stability and core engagement. O. Instructions, stand on your lead leg with your non-throwing leg slightly raised. Hold a baseball and simulate a throwing motion, focusing on maintaining balance throughout. Perform 3 sets of 10 repetitions on each leg. O. Why it's important. This drill teaches pitchers to stay controlled and balanced during their delivery, preventing wild pitches and reducing stress on the arm. Drill, balance beam step through. O. Purpose, to enhance balance and stride alignment. O. Instructions, walk across a low balance beam while holding a baseball. Simulate your pitching stride as you move forward. Perform 2 to 3 sets of 8 strides. O. Why it's important. This drill promotes proper stride direction and helps pitchers avoid mechanical flaws caused by poor balance. 2. Power drills. Power is critical for generating velocity and explosiveness in the pitching motion. These drills develop lower body strength and explosive energy transfer. Drill, medicine ball scoop toss. O. Purpose, to build rotational power and core strength. O. Instructions, hold a medicine ball at hip level. Rotate your torso and explosively toss the ball against a wall or to a partner. Perform 3 sets of 8 reps on each side. O. Why it's important. This drill trains a kinetic chain to transfer energy from the lower body through the core and into the throwing motion. Drill, broad jumps. O. Purpose, to develop lower body explosiveness. O. Instructions, start in a squat position and jump forward as far as possible. Land softly and repeat for 3 sets of 6 jumps. O. Why it's important. Broad jumps simulate the explosive push-off in the rubber, which is crucial for maximizing velocity. 3. Accuracy drills. Accuracy is a vital component of effective pitching. It allows pitchers to locate their pitches and exploit hitters' weaknesses. Drill, target practice. O. Purpose, to improve pitch location and focus. O. Instructions, set up a target, e.g., a small net or specific zone on a backstop. Throw 10 pitches aiming for the target, alternating pitch types. Perform 3 sets. O. Why it's important. This drill helps pitchers refine their command and hit their spots consistently. Drill, bullseye bucket challenge. O. Purpose, to enhance accuracy and focus on small targets. O. Instructions, place a bucket or cone at a specific location, e.g., low and outside corner of the strike zone. Throw 15 pitches aiming to hit or land the ball near the target. Vary the target location for different sets. Perform 3 sets of 15 throws. O. Why it's important. This drill encourages precise aim and teaches pitchers how to spot pitches effectively in game-like scenarios. Why these drills matter. Each of these drills targets a specific aspect of pitching mechanics, creating a comprehensive approach to improvement. Balance drills ensure that pitchers maintain stability and reduce unnecessary movements that can lead to injury or poor performance. Power drills build the explosive strength needed for increased velocity and efficient energy transfer. Accuracy drills fine-tune command, allowing pitchers to exploit hitters' weaknesses and execute game plans effectively. By incorporating these drills into their routine, pitchers can develop a well-rounded skill set that maximizes performance and minimizes injury risk. I was excited to see how our hard work would pay off. I had spent countless hours working on my mechanics, but I knew that there was always room for improvement. I had learned from my coaches and teammates that specific drills could target different aspects of my delivery, helping me become a more effective pitcher. With that in mind, I gathered my teammates for practice focused on drills designed to enhance our mechanics. All right, everyone, I began looking around at the eager faces. Today, we're going to work on some key drills that will help us improve our pitching mechanics. Each drill targets a specific aspect of our delivery, and I want you to focus on executing them with precision. The first drill we tackled was the balance drill. I explained its importance. Balance is crucial for generating power and maintaining control. If we can establish a strong foundation, everything else will fall into place. We started by standing on one leg, lifting the other knee to a 90-degree angle. I demonstrated how to hold this position for a few seconds, focusing on maintaining balance and stability. This drill helps us develop the strength and coordination needed to stay balanced during our delivery. I explained. It's all about finding that center of gravity. After a few rounds of the balance drill, we moved on to the knee drill. I had learned that this drill was excellent for reinforcing proper arm mechanics. We knelt on the ground with one knee down, simulating the throwing motion without the full wind-up. This drill allows us to focus on our arm path and follow through without worrying about our legs. I said, it's a great way to isolate our upper body mechanics. As we executed the knee drill, I emphasized the importance of keeping the elbow above the shoulder during the throwing motion. This position helps prevent injuries and ensures that we're using our arm effectively. I reminded them. I could see my teammates concentrating, their faces reflecting the determination to improve. Next, we transitioned to the stride drill. I explained that this drill focused on the importance of a proper stride length. A good stride helps us generate power and maintain balance. I said, we want to ensure that our front foot lands in line with our target. We practiced a drill by taking a few steps back from a mound and then striding forward as we threw. I encouraged everyone to focus on their foot placement and the timing of their delivery. Remember, a longer stride can help increase velocity, but it has to be controlled. I cautioned, we don't want to overextend and lose our mechanics. After several rounds of the stride drill, we moved on to the wall drill. This drill was designed to reinforce proper arm mechanics and prevent the common mistake of dropping the throwing arm. We stood a few feet away from a wall, simulating our throwing motion while ensuring that our elbows stayed above our shoulder. This drill helps us develop muscle memory for the correct arm path. I explained, if we can visualize our mechanics, we'll be more likely to execute them during a game. As we practiced the wall drill, I walked around, offering feedback and encouragement. I could see my teammates improving with each repetition, their confidence growing as they focused on their mechanics. Next, we tackled the towel drill, a favorite among pitchers for reinforcing proper arm action. I explained how this drill involved using a towel instead of a baseball to simulate the throwing motion. The towel allows us to focus on our arm path and follow through without the pressure throwing a ball. I said, it's a great way to work on our mechanics in a low-stress environment. We took turns throwing the towel, focusing on keeping our elbow high and following through completely. I could feel the energy in the group as we encouraged one another, celebrating small victories as we executed the drill correctly. After the towel drill, we moved on to the flat ground drill. This drill allowed us to practice our mechanics without the added pressure of a mound. We set up on flat ground and focused on our wind-up, stride, and follow-through. This is a great way to reinforce our mechanics in a more controlled setting. I explained. It allows us to focus on our form without worrying about the slope of the mound. As we practiced on flat ground, I reminded my teammates to visualize their target and maintain their focus. Every pitch is an opportunity to improve. I said, let's make the most of this drill. Finally, we concluded our practice with a bullpen session, where we would put everything we had worked on into practice. I gathered everyone around the mound, excitement palpable in the air. Now it's time to take everything we practiced and apply it in a game-like situation, I said. We'll each throw a few pitches, focusing on our mechanics and the drills we just completed. As my turn came up, I felt a surge of adrenaline. I reminded myself to stay calm and focus on my mechanics. I began my warm-up pitches, concentrating on my balance, stride, and follow-through. Each pitch felt smoother than the last, and I could sense the improvement in my delivery. One by one, my teammates took their turns, and I watched as they executed their pitches with newfound confidence. I offered tips and encouragement, celebrating their progress. Remember to trust your training. I shouted, reinforcing the importance of mental toughness alongside physical skill. After everyone had their turn, we gathered for a quick debrief. Great job today, everyone. I could see the improvements in your mechanics, I said, feeling proud of our collective effort. Remember, consistency is key. Keep practicing these drills, and you'll continue to see results. As we wrapped up practice, I reflected on the importance of these key drills. They not only help refine our mechanics, but also foster a sense of camaraderie among us. We were all in this together, striving to become better pitchers and teammates. In the days that followed, I made a point to incorporate these drills into my routine. I understood that mastering pitching mechanics was an ongoing journey, and I was committed to putting in the work. Each practice session became an opportunity to fine-tune my skills, ensuring that I was always prepared for the challenges ahead. I also encouraged my teammates to share their experiences and insights. We began to hold regular meetings where we could discuss our progress, share tips, and motivate one another. This collaborative approach not only strengthened our mechanics, but also built a supportive environment that fostered growth. As the season progressed, I noticed the positive impact of our focused practice on the mound. Our pitching staff became more cohesive, and we started to see the results in our performance. The drills we had practiced became second nature, allowing us to focus on strategy and execution during games. I knew that the key to continued improvement lay in our commitment to these foundational drills. I was excited to see how our hard work would pay off as we faced tougher opponents and higher stakes. With each pitch, I felt more confident in my abilities, ready to tackle whatever challenges lay ahead. Chapter 9: Arm Action and Throwing Mechanics. The importance of arm action. Arm action is a keystone of proper pitching mechanics. It refers to the movement of the arm during the throwing motion, encompassing everything from the initial handbrake to the follow-through. Efficient arm action is essential for generating velocity, maintaining accuracy, and reducing the risk of injury. Key principles of proper arm action. 1. Smooth handbrake. The throwing motion begins with the hands separating smoothly and naturally. A rushed or jerky handbrake can disrupt the rhythm of the delivery. 2. Arm path efficiency. The arm should follow a compact and direct path to the release point, avoiding unnecessary loops or deviations that can sap velocity and strain the shoulder. 3. Elbow positioning. Keeping the elbow at shoulder height or slightly above during the arm swing helps maintain leverage and reduces stress on the elbow joint. 4. External rotation. Proper external rotation of the shoulder allows for optimal energy transfer and maximizes throwing velocity. 5. Follow-through. A full and fluid follow-through helps dissipate energy safely and ensures the arm decelerates naturally. Drills for arm action improvement. 1. Arm path mirror drill. Purpose: to refine the arm path and eliminate inefficient movements. Instructions: stand in front of a mirror and practice the arm motion without a ball. Focus on a smooth handbrake and compact arm path. Repeat for 3 sets of 10 repetitions. Why it's important. This drill allows pitchers to visually check their mechanics and make adjustments in real time. 2. Wall drill. Purpose: to promote proper external rotation and elbow positioning. Instructions: stand sideways about a foot away from a wall. Practice the throwing motion. Ensure an elbow leads and the forearm doesn't contact the wall. Perform 3 sets of 8 repetitions. Why it's important. This drill reinforces correct elbow height and arm positioning during the delivery. 3. Weighted ball deceleration throws. Purpose: to build arm strength and improve follow-through. Instructions: use a light weighted ball 4 to 6 ounces. Perform a throwing motion, focusing on a full follow-through. Perform 2 sets of 10 throws. Why it's important. This drill strengthens the deceleration muscles, reducing the risk of overuse injuries. The role of arm action in velocity and accuracy. Efficient arm action plays a critical role in both velocity and accuracy. When the arm moves smoothly and efficiently, it allows for better energy transfer from the lower body to the kinetic chain to the ball. Conversely, poor arm action can create timing issues, reduce velocity, and increase stress on the arm. The turnaround of a pitcher's mechanics. The sound of the ball hitting the glove echoed in my ears, a rhythmic reminder of the journey I had taken to get to this moment. I stood on the mound, the sun setting behind me, casting a golden hue over the field. It was a stark contrast to the darkness I had felt just a year ago, when I was struggling to find my place in the game I loved. I remember the day it all changed. I was sitting in the dugout, watching my teammates warm up for a game that felt like it could make or break my season. My fastball had lost its zip, my curveball had become a mere suggestion, and I was beginning to doubt whether I could ever reclaim the form that had once made me a standout pitcher. The whispers of my coaches and teammates echoed in my mind. He's lost it. He'll never be the same. But deep down, I knew I had to make a choice. I could either wallow in self-pity or take control of my destiny? I chose the latter. That night, I sat down with my notebook, reflecting on my mechanics. I had always been a creature of habit, relying on the same delivery I had used since high school. But as I watched video footage of my past performances, I noticed the flaws. My arm was dragging, my weight transfer was off, and my follow-through lacked the fluidity it once had. I recalled a conversation I had with my old pitching coach, Coach Ramirez, who had always emphasized the importance of mechanics. Pitching is like a symphony, he'd say. Every part must work in harmony. I realized that I needed to recompose my symphony, to find the right notes that would allow me to pitch with confidence again. The next day, I looked for a local pitching coach, someone who specialized in mechanical adjustments. His name was Mike, and he had a reputation for turning struggling pitchers into stars. I remember walking into the facility, feeling a mix of hope and apprehension. Would he be able to help me? As we began our session, Mike watched me throw, his keen eyes catching every detail. "You're trying too hard," he said, shaking his head. "Let's simplify your mechanics." He broke down my delivery into manageable parts, focusing on my grip, my stance, and my follow-through. I felt like a novice again, but with each adjustment, I could feel the ball coming out of my hand differently. Crisper, sharper, more alive. I spent the next few weeks working tirelessly with Mike, making adjustments that felt foreign at first. I remember one day when I threw a pitch that felt like magic. The ball zipped through the air, and I could hear the satisfying pop of the glove as it landed. I looked at Mike, and he grinned. "That's it. You're starting to find your rhythm." Reflecting on those early days of training, I recalled a game from my college years when I had faced a similar crisis. I had been the ace of my team, but after a series of poor performances, I found myself benched. I had spent countless nights questioning my abilities, wondering if I would ever regain my confidence. But I had learned then that resilience was key. I had fought my way back, and now I was doing it again. As the weeks turned into months, I began to see the fruits of my labor. I was invited to pitch in a local summer league, a chance to test my new mechanics in a game situation. I remember standing on a mound, the familiar nerves creeping in, but this time they were accompanied by a sense of excitement. I had put in the work, and I was ready to show the world what I could do. The first batter stepped up, and I took a deep breath, recalling all the adjustments I had made. I focused on my mechanics, trusting the process. I delivered a fastball that sailed past the batter for a strike. The feeling was electric. With each pitch, I felt more and more like my old self, and by the end of the game, I had struck out 10 batters and earned a hard-fought victory. That night, as I lay in bed, I reflected on how far I had come. I had faced my demons, made the necessary adjustments, and emerged stronger. I remembered the word of Coach Ramirez. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. I had turned my struggles into a success story, and I was ready to take my career to the next level. Chapter 10. Game Day Preparation. Setting the stage for success. Game day is a culmination of your training, preparation, and mental focus. To perform at your best, it's essential to establish a routine that prepares your body and mind for the challenges ahead. This chapter dives into the key elements of game day preparation, ensuring you step onto the mound ready to compete. Create a warm-up routine. Stick to a consistent plan. Your warm-up routine sets the tone for your performance. Consistency is key to ensuring your body is primed and ready. A solid routine includes dynamic stretches, mobility drills, and light throwing to ease into game intensity. Dynamic stretches incorporate arm circles, leg swings, and torso rotations to loosen up key muscle groups. Mobility drills focus on shoulder mobility with exercises like wall slides and band pull-aparts. Progressive throwing. Start with easy tosses, gradually increasing distance and velocity. Finish with a few game speed pitches to simulate live action. Plyometric warm UPS. Add plyometric movements like medicine ball slams or jump squats to activate explosive power. A structured warm-up ensures you're physically ready while reducing the risk of injury. Stick to a plan that works for you and refine it as needed. Hydration is key. Stay hydrated for optimal performance. Proper hydration is often overlooked, but is critical for peak performance. Dehydration can lead to fatigue, decrease focus and muscle cramps. Start hydrating the day before the game and continue throughout game day. Pre-game hydration. Drink water consistently in the hours leading up to the game. Include an electrolyte-rich drink if it's hot or humid. During the game, keep a water bottle in the dugout and sip between innings. Avoid overhydrating in one sitting. Small, frequent sips are best. Post-game, replenish lost fluids immediately after the game with water or a sports drink. Maintaining hydration ensures your body functions optimally and helps you stay sharp through every inning. Visualize your game plan. Go over your strategy before stepping on the mound. Mental preparation is just as important as physical readiness. Visualization is a powerful tool to enhance focus and build confidence. Before the game, take a few moments to mentally rehearse your performance. Picture yourself executing your best pitches. Visualize overcoming challenging situations like getting out of jam with runners on base. Go over your approach to each hitter in the opposing lineup. This mental rehearsal helps you feel more prepared and confident, reducing pre-game jitters and improving your focus. Focus on your best pitches. Use what's working that day. Every pitcher has days when certain pitches feel better than others. On game day, identify which pitches are working during warm-ups and build your strategy around them. Adjust your approach. If your curveball isn't breaking as expected, rely more on your fastball or changeup. Trust your strengths. Stick to pitches you feel confident in, especially in high-pressure situations. Communicate with your catcher. Let your catcher know what's working so they can call the game accordingly. Communicate with your catcher. Build trust and consistency. The pitcher-catcher relationship is vital for success. Establishing trust and clear communication ensures you're on the same page during the game. Pre-game meeting. Discuss the game plan, including how to approach each hitter and any specific strategies. In-game adjustments. Be open to feedback from your catcher. They have a unique perspective on what's working and how hitters are reacting. Nonverbal communication. Use clear signals and body language to convey confidence and trust. A strong connection with your catcher helps you stay focused and adapt to changing game dynamics. Embrace the pressure. Treat nerves as excitement. Nerves are a natural part of competition. Instead of viewing them as negative, reframe them as excitement and energy to fuel your performance. Control your breathing. Deep, controlled breaths help calm your mind and body. Focus on the process. Concentrate on executing each pitch rather than worrying about the outcome. Stay present. Take the game one pitch at a time, focusing on what you can control. Embracing the pressure helps you stay composed and perform at your best, even in high-stakes situations. Cool down after the game. Promote recovery immediately. Recovery starts the moment the game ends. A proper cool-down routine helps reduce muscle soreness, prevent injury, and prepares your body for the next outing. Post-game stretching. Focus on static stretches for your arms, shoulders, and legs to release tension. Light jogging or walking. Promote blood flow and reduce lactic acid buildup. Rehydration and nutrition. Replenish lost fluids and eat a balanced snack or meal to aid recovery. Cold therapy. Use ice packs or cold baths to reduce inflammation in your arm and shoulder. Investing time in recovery ensures you'll bounce back stronger and ready for your next performance. By following these game day preparation strategies, you'll set yourself up for success both physically and mentally. Remember, consistency is a foundation of excellence. Stick to your routine, trust your preparation, and embrace the thrill of competing on the mound. I was playing for my team, my family, and the love of the game. I slipped into my favorite worn-out jersey, the fabric soft and familiar against my skin. It was a little faded, the number barely visible, but it held memories of countless games, each stitch woven with the laughter and camaraderie of my teammates. I glanced in the mirror, adjusted my cap, the brim casting a shadow over my eyes. Today was not just another game. It was a chance to prove myself, to show everyone what I was made of. Breakfast was a ritual in our household on game days. My mom had already prepared a hearty spread, scrambled eggs, crispy bacon, and a stack of pancakes drizzled with maple syrup. I could hear my dad's voice booming from the kitchen, recounting stories of his own glory days on the field. I smiled, soaking in the warmth of family and tradition. You know, son, he said, his eyes twinkling, it's not just about the game. It's about how you prepare for it. After breakfast, I gathered my gear, checking off each item on my mental list. Bat? Check. Glove? Check. Cleats? Check. I could feel the weight of the bat in my hands, the smooth with a comforting presence. I took a moment to run my fingers over the leather of my glove, recalling the countless hours spent practicing, the sound of the ball hitting the pocket echoing in my mind. As I made my way to the field, the world around me seemed to fade away. The streets were alive with the sounds of morning, but all I could hear was the rhythmic thump of my heart. I arrived early, the field still empty, the bases gleaming under the sun. I took a deep breath, inhaling the scent of freshly cut grass mixed with the faint aroma of chalk dust. This was my sanctuary. I began my warm-up routine, stretching my muscles, feeling the tension release with each movement. I could see the other players trickling in, their laughter and banter filling the air. We were a team, a family, and today we would stand together, united by our love for the game. I joined them, tossing the ball back and forth. The familiar rhythm grounded me as I focused on the task ahead. As the clock ticked closer to game time, I took a moment to visualize the game. I pictured myself at the plate, the pitcher winding up, the ball soaring toward me. I imagined the crack of the bat, the exhilaration of running the bases, the cheers of the crowd. Each scenario played out in my mind, a mental rehearsal that fueled my determination. The pre-game huddle was a sacred moment. We gathered in a tight circle, our hands stacked in the center, a symbol of our unity. Our coach spoke, his voice steady and inspiring, reminding us of the hard work we had put in and the trust we had in one another. Today, we play for each other, he said, his eyes scanning our faces. Leave everything on the field. As we broke the huddle, I felt a surge of adrenaline. The stands were beginning to fill, the buzz of excitement palpable. I could see familiar faces, friends, family, and even a few rivals. They were here to witness our journey, and I was ready to give them a show. The national anthem played, and I stood with my hand over my heart, the weight of the moment settling in. This was more than just a game. It was a culmination of dreams, hard work, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. As the last notes faded, I felt a sense of calm washing over me. I was ready. With each step onto the field, I could feel the energy of the crowd, the cheers igniting a fire within me. I took my position, the sun shining down, the smell of popcorn and hot dogs wafting through the air. This was it. The stage was set, and I was ready to play my heart out. As the first pitch soared through the air, I knew that all the preparation, the early mornings, the late-night practices, and the unwavering support of my family had led me to this moment. I was not just playing for myself. I was playing for my team, my family, and the love of the game. And as the ball came toward me, I was ready to swing for the fences. Chapter 11. Pitching Strategy, Commanding the Game. The art of pitching extends far beyond the mechanics of throwing a ball. To truly excel on the mound, a pitcher must develop a deep understanding of strategy. This chapter dives into the nuances of pitching strategy, how to analyze hitters, use your repertoire effectively, and make adjustments in real time, all while maintaining composure and focus under pressure. The role of strategy in pitching. Pitching is as much a mental chess match as it is a physical performance. Great pitchers don't just rely on their arm strength or velocity. They outthink their opponents. Strategy allows you to maximize your strengths, exploit hitters' weaknesses, and control the pace of the game. Developing a strategic mindset transforms you from a thrower into a true pitcher. Key components of pitching strategy. 1. Understanding hitters. Study the opposing lineup. Know each hitter's tendencies, strengths, and weaknesses. Look for patterns in their swings. Are they early or late on pitches? Do they struggle with breaking balls or high heat? Identify situational tendencies. What does this hitter do with runners in scoring position or in 2-strike counts? 2. Using your repertoire effectively. Match your pitch selection to the hitter's weaknesses. For example, if a hitter struggles with off-speed pitches, mix in your changeup or curveball. Sequence pitches strategically. Set up hitters by changing speeds, eye levels, and locations. Use your best pitch as a weapon, but Keep it unpredictable. 3. Situational awareness. O. Understand the game context. The score, inning, and base runners all influence your approach. O. Adjust your strategy for different situations, such as inducing a ground ball double play with runners on or pitching aggressively with a big lead. 4. Reading the batter. O. Watch how hitters adjust during their at-bat. Are they leaning toward a particular pitch or struggling to catch up to your fastball? O. Use body language cues to assess their confidence or discomfort. 5. Adapting in real time. O. Be ready to change your approach if a hitter surprises you or if your initial game plan isn't working. O. Communicate with your catcher and trust their input. Execution under pressure. Even the best strategy is useless without execution. Here are some tips to stay focused and perform under pressure. Develop a pre-pitch routine to maintain consistency and calm your nerves. Visualize your target and focus on the process rather than the outcome. Control your breathing to stay composed during high-pressure situations. Stay confident in your plan, even if things don't go your way immediately. An example of strategic mastery. In the 2011 World Series, Chris Carpenter of the St. Louis Cardinals delivered one of the most memorable pitching performances in Game 7 against the Texas Rangers. Carpenter didn't have his best stuff that night, but he used his experience and strategic mindset to keep hitters off balance. Throughout the game, Carpenter relied on his ability to read hitters and adapt his pitch selection. Early in the game, he noticed that the Rangers' hitters were aggressive on fastballs, so he adjusted by mixing in more curveballs and changeups. He also worked the edges of the strike zone, forcing weak contact and inducing ground balls when runners were on base. Carpenter's ability to outthink the opposing lineup and execute his plan under immense pressure secured the Cardinals' championship. His performance is a testament to the power of strategy and mental toughness in pitching. Drills to develop strategic thinking. 1. Simulated game scenarios. O. Practice pitching in game-like situations with specific objectives, such as getting out of a jam with runners on base or working through a full count. 2. Video analysis. O. Review footage of your own performances and those of top pitchers. Identify patterns and areas for improvement in your pitch sequencing and execution. 3. Catcher's meetings. O. Work closely with your catcher to develop game plans for different hitters. Practice executing these plans during bullpen sessions. 4. Mental rehearsal. O. Spend time visualizing different game situations and how you would approach them strategically. A final word on strategy. Pitching strategy is what separates good pitchers from great ones. By combining knowledge, preparation, and execution, you can take control of the game and outsmart even the toughest opponents. Remember, every pitch is an opportunity to gain an advantage. Make each one count. A battle of wits. Staring at the sky, I took a deep breath, letting the familiar scent of freshly cut grass and chalk dust fill my lungs. I glanced at the batter in the box, a hulking figure with a reputation for power. He was the kind of hitter who could change a game with a single swing, and I knew I had to be smart. Pitching wasn't just about throwing hard. It was about strategy, about outsmarting the opponent. I began my routine, a series of movements that had become second nature over the years. I wiped my brow with the back of my glove, then adjusted my cap, feeling the fabric brush against my forehead. I looked at my catcher, Jake, who was crouched behind the plate, his mask glinting in the sunlight. We had been through countless battles together, and I trusted him implicitly. He flashed a sign, and I nodded, my heart racing with the thrill of the moment. The first pitch was crucial. I needed to establish my presence, to let the batter know that I was in control. I wound up and delivered a fastball, painting the outside corner. The crack of the bat echoed through the stadium, but the ball sailed harmlessly into the glove of Jake, who smirked at me. "Nice one," he said, his voice low but confident. I could feel the tension in my shoulders ease just a bit. The next pitch was a curveball, a pitch I had been working on all season. I wanted to keep the batter guessing, to make him think twice about his approach. I wound up again, feeling the familiar rhythm of my body as I released the ball. It broke sharply, dipping just below the batter's swing. Strike two. The crowd erupted, and I could feel the adrenaline coursing through my veins. But I knew better than to get cocky. This was a game of chess, and I was only a few moves in. I glanced at the dugout, where my teammates were leaning forward, eyes glued to the action. They believed in me, and I couldn't let them down. I took a moment to reset, breathing in the atmosphere, letting the noise wash over me. The batter stepped out of the box, adjusting his gloves, a clear sign that I had rattled him. I smiled to myself. This was my chance to seize control. I looked at Jake, who signaled for a changeup. It was a risky pitch, but I trusted my instincts. I nodded, and as I wound up, I focused on the target. The ball slipped from my fingers, a perfect deception, and the batter swung early, his frustration palpable as he missed completely. Strike 3. The crowd cheered, and I felt a rush of satisfaction. But I couldn't dwell on that moment. There were still more batters to face, more strategies to employ. I wiped my brow again, feeling the sweat trickle down my back. I had to stay sharp, stay focused. As the game progressed, I began to read the hitters more closely. Each at-bat was a lesson, a chance to learn their tendencies. I noticed how the next batter, a lefty with a quick swing, struggled against inside pitches. I decided to exploit that weakness. I threw a series of fastballs, each one inching closer to his hands, forcing him to adjust. The tension built, and I could see the doubt creeping into his eyes. With 2 strikes against him, I threw a slider, a pitch that had become my secret weapon. It danced across the plate, breaking late, and the batter swung wildly, missing by a mile. I could hear the collective gasp from the crowd, followed by a roar of approval. I was in the zone, commanding the game with every pitch. But it wasn't just about the physical aspect. It was mental warfare. I had to stay one step ahead, anticipating their moves while hiding my own intentions. I watched the opposing dugout, their coaches whispering, strategizing. I could see the tension in their faces, the realization that I was in control. It fueled my fire. While the innings wore on, I felt the rhythm of the game settle into a familiar cadence. I was no longer just a pitcher. I was a conductor, orchestrating the symphony of the game. Each pitch was a note, each batter a soloist, and I was determined to lead them to a triumphant finale. With the game on the line, I faced the heart of their lineup. The stakes were high, and I could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on me. I took a deep breath, my mind racing through strategies I had rehearsed countless times. This was the moment that defined a pitcher, where legends were born and dreams were realized. I glanced at Jake, who gave me a reassuring nod, and I knew we were in sync. The first batter stepped up, a seasoned veteran with a keen eye. I had to be careful. He could turn the game around with a single swing. I decided to start him off with a changeup, a pitch that had served me well throughout the game. I wound up, feeling the familiar tension in my arm, and released the ball. It floated in, and I watched as he took a half-hearted swing, missing completely. Strike 1. The crowd held its breath, and I could feel the energy shift. I followed up with a fastball, this time targeting the inside corner. The batter was ready and he connected, but the ball was weakly hit, rolling toward the shortstop. I watched as my teammate scooped it up and made the throw to first, securing the out. 1 down. The next batter was a different story. He had power, and I could see the confidence radiating from him. I needed to change my approach. I decided to throw a series of breaking balls, mixing in a few fastballs to keep him off balance. I delivered a slider that broke late, and he swung, but it was a foul tip. The crowd erupted, and I felt the adrenaline surge again. With 2 strikes, I went for the kill. I threw a high fastball, a pitch that had been my go-to in tight situations. I could see him tense up, and as the ball reached the plate, he swung hard, but it was too high. Strike 3. The crowd roared, and I felt a rush of exhilaration. 2 down. Now, it was just me and the last batter. I could feel the weight of the moment, the anticipation hanging in the air. I took a moment to gather my thoughts, visualizing the pitch I wanted to throw. I decided to go with a curveball, a pitch that had been my ally all season. I wound up, focusing on my mechanics, and released the ball with precision. The batter swung, and I watched as the ball broke sharply, dipping just below his bat. The umpire's call echoed through the stadium. Strike 1. I could see the frustration on his face, and it fueled my determination. I followed up with another curveball, this time a little lower, and he swung again, missing completely. Strike 2. With the crowd on their feet, I knew I had to finish strong. I took a deep breath, visualizing the victory. I threw a fastball, aiming for the outside corner, and as the ball left my hand, I felt a surge of confidence. The batter swung, but it was too late. The ball hit the glove with a satisfying thud, and the umpire's call rang out. Strike 3. The crowd erupted, and I felt a wave of relief wash over me. I had commanded the game, outsmarted my opponents, and executed my strategy flawlessly. As I walked off the mound, my teammates surrounded me, their faces beaming with pride. In that moment, I knew that pitching was more than just a game. It was an art form, a battle of wits, and I was proud to be its commander. Chapter 12, Situational Pitching, Mastering the Moment. One of the most critical skills for a pitcher is understanding how to adjust to the various situations that arise during a game. Situational pitching is the ability to adapt your approach based on the context, including the number of outs, the base runners, and the hitter you're facing. This chapter explores the finer points of situational pitching and how to take control of the game's most pivotal moments. What is situational pitching? Situational pitching is a practice of tailoring your strategy and pitch selection to meet the demands of specific game situations. Whether you're trying to induce a double play, prevent a runner from advancing, or strike out a dangerous hitter, your approach must change to maximize your effectiveness. Key situational scenarios. 1. Runner on first, less than 2 outs. O objective. Induce a ground ball to set up a double play. O approach. Focus on keeping the ball low in the strike zone. Use two-seam fastballs or change-ups to generate weak contact. 2. Runner in scoring position. O objective. Prevent the runner from advancing or scoring. O approach. Pitch carefully and mix in off-speed pitches. Avoid leaving anything over the plate. 3. 2 outs, nobody on. O objective. Attack the hitter and minimize pitch count. O approach. Be aggressive and challenge the hitter with your best pitch. 4. Bases loaded, less than 2 outs. O objective. Limit damage by inducing an infield fly or a ground ball to prevent multiple runs. O approach. Pitch to contact but be precise. Use breaking pitches to keep the hitter off balance. 5. Late inning high pressure. O objective. Execute pitches with pinpoint control and maintain composure. O approach. Trust your preparation. Focus on one pitch at a time and rely on your catcher or coach to guide pitch selection. The role of the catcher in situational pitching. Your catcher is your best ally in situational pitching. They have a unique view of the game and can provide invaluable input on pitch selection and hitter tendencies. Trust their instincts, especially in high-pressure situations. Strong communication with your catcher can make the difference between a good pitch and a great pitch. Example of situational excellence. In 2016, Kyle Hendricks of the Chicago Cubs exemplified situational pitching during Game 6 of the NLCS against the Los Angeles Dodgers. With runners on base and the Cubs needing a win to secure a World Series berth, Hendricks stayed calm and executed his pitches flawlessly. By keeping the ball low and mixing speeds, he induced weak contact and groundouts, escaping multiple jams without allowing a run. His ability to adapt and excel in high-pressure situations was key to the Cubs' historic championship run. Drills to practice situational pitching. 1. Live simulations. Practice pitching in live scenarios with teammates acting as base runners and hitters. Simulate high-pressure situations like bases loaded or 2 outs in the 9th inning. 2. Bullpen focus sessions. During bullpen sessions, focus on specific situations, such as throwing pitches to induce double plays or executing strikeout pitches with runners on base. 3. Catcher communication drills. Work with your catcher on game scenarios, emphasizing pitch selection and sequencing for various situations. 4. Target practice. Set up targets in different zones of the strike zone to practice hitting precise locations under simulated game pressure. Situational pitching is what sets elite pitchers apart. By understanding the context of each at-bat and adjusting your approach accordingly, you can become a more effective and reliable presence on the mound. Remember, the ability to perform in key moments often defines a pitcher's success and legacy. It was about reading the game. I stood on the mound, my heart pounding in my chest. The game was on the line, and I could feel the weight of it pressing down on me. I glanced at the scoreboard. 2 outs, a runner on second, and the opposing team's best hitter stepping into the box. I had faced him before, and I knew he was a dangerous man. He could turn the tide with a single swing, and I had to be ready. Jake, my catcher, crouched behind the plate, his eyes locked onto mine. We had been through countless battles together, and I could see the confidence in his gaze. He flashed a sign, and I nodded, feeling the familiar rush of adrenaline. This was situational pitching at its finest. Every pitch mattered, and I had to master the moment. I took a deep breath, letting the noise of the crowd fade into the background. I focused on the task at hand, visualizing the pitch I wanted to throw. The first pitch had to set the tone. I decided to start with a fastball, aiming for the outside corner. I wound up, feeling the tension in my arm, and released the ball. It sailed toward the plate, and the batter swung, but he was late. Strike one. The crowd erupted, and I could feel the energy shift. I glanced at the runner on second, who was inching off the bag, ready to take advantage of any mistake. I had to keep him in check, while also focusing on the batter. I took a moment to reset, wiping the sweat from my brow. This was a mental game as much as it was physical. Jake signaled for a curveball, and I nodded again. I knew this batter had a tendency to chase breaking balls, especially when he was behind in the count. I wound up and delivered the pitch, watching as it broke sharply toward the plate. The batter swung, but it was a swing and a miss. Strike two. The crowd roared, and I could feel the momentum building. But I couldn't get complacent. I had to stay sharp, stay focused. I glanced at the runner again, who was now dancing off second base, trying to distract me. I took a deep breath, reminded myself to trust my instincts. I looked back at Jake, who signaled for a changeup. It was a risky pitch, but I knew it could catch the batter off guard. I wound up, feeling the familiar rhythm of my body as I released the ball. The changeup floated in, and I watched as the batter's eyes widened. He was expecting heat, and the slower pitch threw him off balance. He swung, but it was a weak grounder back to me. I scooped it up, my heart racing, and made the throw to first base. The crack of the bat echoed in my ears, but I was already one step ahead. As the ball hit the glove of my first baseman, the crowd erupted into cheers. I had mastered the moment, executing my strategy flawlessly. But I knew this was just one battle in a long war. I had to stay vigilant, stay ready for whatever came next. The next inning brought a new challenge. We were now in a tie game, and I was back on the mound, facing a different lineup. The pressure was palpable, and I could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on me again. I took a deep breath, reminded myself that I had been here before. I had to trust my training, my instincts, and my ability to read the game. The first batter stepped up, a young rookie with a lot to prove. I could see the determination in his eyes, and I knew he would be aggressive. I decided to start him off with a slider, a pitch that had been effective for me all season. I wound up and delivered, watching as the ball broke late. The batter swung, but it was a swing and a miss. Strike one. I could feel the momentum shifting in my favor, but I had to stay grounded. The next pitch was crucial. I decided to throw a fastball, aiming for the inside corner. I wound up, feeling the tension in my arm, and released the ball. The batter connected, but it was a weak pop-up, drifting toward the shortstop. 1 out. The next batter was a seasoned veteran, a player who had seen it all. I knew I had to be careful. I took a moment to gather my thoughts, visualizing the pitch sequence I wanted to employ. I decided to mix it up, throwing a changeup first to disrupt his timing. I wound up and released the ball, watching as it floated in. The batter swung, but he was out in front, missing completely. Strike one. The crowd was on edge, and I could feel their energy fueling my determination. I followed up with a curveball, aiming for the lower part of the zone. I executed the pitch perfectly, and the batter swung again, but this time he connected, sending a sharp grounder toward third base. My teammate made a quick play, throwing it to first for the second out. Now, it was just me and the last batter of the inning. I could feel the tension in the air, the stakes rising with every passing moment. I took a deep breath, reminding myself to stay calm and focused. I glanced at Jake, who signaled for a fastball. I nodded, knowing that this was the right call. I wound up, feeling the familiar rhythm of my body as I released the ball with precision. The fastball zipped toward the plate, and the batter swung hard, but it was too late. The satisfying sound of the ball hitting the glove echoed through the stadium. Strike 3. The crowd erupted in cheers, and I felt a rush of adrenaline course through me. As I walked off the mound, my teammates greeted me with high fives and pats on the back. I had mastered the moment once again, navigating the pressure and executing my pitches with confidence. But I knew that every game brought new challenges, and I had to remain vigilant. In the following innings, I continued to adapt my strategy, reading the hitters and adjusting my approach. Each at-bat was a new opportunity to showcase my skills, and I relished the chance to rise to the occasion. I learned to embrace the pressure, to thrive in the moments that mattered most. As the game progressed, I found myself in a tight situation once more. The bases were loaded, and the opposing team's cleanup hitter was at the plate. I could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on me, but I refused to let it overwhelm me. I took a deep breath, reminded myself of my training and the countless hours I'd spent honing my craft. I glanced at Jake, who flashed a sign for a slider. I nodded, knowing that this pitch could be the difference between victory and defeat. I wound up, focusing on my mechanics, and released the ball. The slider broke sharply and the batter swung, but it was a swing and a miss. Strike 1. The crowd was on their feet, the tension palpable. I followed up with a fastball, aiming for the outside corner. The batter was ready and he connected, but it was a weak fly ball that drifted into the outfield. My teammate made the catch, and the crowd erupted into cheers once again. Running to the dugout, I felt a sense of pride wash over me. I had mastered the moment, navigating the pressure and executing my pitches with precision. I knew that situational pitching was about more than just throwing strikes. It was about reading the game, adapting to the circumstances, and rising to the occasion when it mattered most. In that moment, I realized that every pitch was an opportunity to showcase my skills, to command the game, and to master the moment. I was not just a pitcher. I was a strategist, a leader, and a warrior on the mound. And as long as I stayed true to myself and trusted my instincts, I knew I could face any challenge that came my way. Chapter 13, Bringing It All Together. The journey of mastering pitching is a blend of art and science, requiring dedication, precision, and commitment to continuous improvement. This final chapter encapsulates the key lessons from the book and offers guidance for implementing these principles into a cohesive training and performance strategy. The integration of mechanics, strength, and mental toughness. Successful pitching is a symphony of movement, strength, and mindset. By focusing on each element we've discussed, pitchers can maximize their potential. 1. Mechanics. Proper mechanics form the foundation of effective and safe pitching, ensuring the kinetic chain works seamlessly, from leg drive to arm action, minimizes injury risks, and optimizes performance. 2. Strength and conditioning. Building the right muscles and maintaining flexibility and endurance are crucial for generating power and withstanding the rigors of a season. Plyometric exercises, recovery protocols, and arm care routines are essential. 3. Mental toughness. The ability to stay composed under pressure, recover from setbacks, and maintain focus is often the differentiating factor between good pitchers and great ones. Visualization, routine building, and self-confidence are key. Practical steps for implementation. To transform knowledge into results, pitchers should 1. Develop a routine. Consistency is a bedrock of progress. Build a daily and weekly routine that incorporates mechanical work, strength training, recovery, and mental preparation. 2. Set goals. Define clear, measurable objectives for improvement. Whether it's increasing velocity, improving control, or refining a specific pitch, having goals helps maintain focus and motivation. 3. Seek feedback. Work with coaches, teammates, and even video analysis to identify areas for improvement. Constant feedback ensures that progress is on track and adjustments are made as needed. 4. Prioritize recovery. Long-term success relies on staying healthy. Follow recovery protocols. listen to your body, and address warning signs of fatigue or injury early. 5. Stay adaptable. Baseball evolves, and so should your approach. Be open to new techniques, technologies, and strategies that can enhance performance. A story of commitment and success. Chris was a talented but inconsistent pitcher in his sophomore year of college. Despite having natural ability, he lacked the structured approach needed to succeed at the next level. After a humbling season, Chris dedicated himself to mastering the art and science of pitching. He started by refining his mechanics, working daily on drills to improve his balance, arm action, and accuracy. He incorporated plyometric exercises into his strength training regimen, focusing on explosive movements that enhance his velocity. Most importantly, Chris adopted a mental toughness routine, including visualization exercises and mindfulness practices to stay calm in high-pressure situations. Over the next 2 years, Chris's transformation was remarkable. His fastball velocity increased by 6 miles per hour, as control became a hallmark of his game. He led his team to a conference championship and earned a spot in the MLB draft. Chris attributes his success to committing to a comprehensive and disciplined approach to pitching. The final pitch. Mastering pitching is a lifelong journey. Whether you're a young player just starting out or a seasoned veteran aiming to refine your craft, the principles in this book provide a roadmap for success. By embracing the art and science of pitching, you can achieve your goals, stay healthy, and enjoy the game at the highest level. Remember, every great pitcher starts with a single throw. Dedicate yourself to the process, and you'll be amazed at what you can achieve. The mound is yours. Go make it count. Executing my game plan flawlessly. I took a moment to reflect on my journey. The countless hours spent in the bullpen, the early morning workouts, the late-night film sessions analyzing hitters, it all led to this. I learned the art of pitching, mastering the mechanics, the strategies, and the mental game. But now, it was time to bring it all together. I glanced at Jake, my catcher, who was crouched behind the plate, his mask glinting in the fading light. We had developed a rhythm over the years, a silent understanding that allowed us to communicate without words. He flashed a sign, and I nodded, feeling a surge of confidence. This was our moment, and we were ready. The first batter stepped up, a lefty with a quick swing. I knew I had to establish my presence early. I took a deep breath, focusing on my mechanics, and delivered a fastball that painted the outside corner. The batter swung, but it was a swing and a miss. Strike one. The crowd erupted, and I could feel the energy shift in my favor. I followed up with a curveball, a pitch that had become my signature. I wound up and released it, watching as it broke sharply toward the plate. The batter was caught off guard, swinging wildly and missing again. Strike two. I could see the doubt creeping into his eyes, and it fueled my determination. With 2 strikes against him, I decided to go for the kill. I threw a slider, aiming for the lower part of the zone. The batter swung, but it was too late. The ball hit the glove with a satisfying thud. Strike 3. The crowd roared, and I felt a rush of adrenaline. 1 out. The next batter was a seasoned veteran, a player who had seen it all. I knew I had to be careful. I took a moment to gather my thoughts, reminding myself of the strategies I had practiced. I decided to mix it up, starting him off with a changeup. I wound up and delivered, watching as the ball floated in. The batter swung, but it was a weak grounder to shortstop. 2 outs. As I faced the third batter, I could feel the momentum building. I had to stay focused, stay sharp. I glanced at Jake, who signaled for a fastball. I nodded, trusting his instincts. I wound up and released the ball, feeling the familiar rhythm of my body. The fastball zipped toward the plate, and the batter swung hard, but it was too high. Strike 1. The stadium was on edge, and I could feel their energy fueling my determination. I followed up with a curveball, aiming for the lower part of the zone. I executed the pitch perfectly, and the batter swung again, but this time he connected, sending a sharp grounder toward third base. My teammate made a quick play, throwing first for the third out. As I walked off the mound, I felt a sense of pride. I had brought it all together, my mechanics, my strategy, my mental game. But I knew this was just the beginning. The game was still young, and I had to remain vigilant. In the following innings, I continued to adapt my strategy, reading the hitters and adjusting my approach. Each at-bat was a new opportunity to showcase my skills, and I relished the chance to rise to the occasion. I learned to embrace the pressure, to thrive in the moments that mattered most. As the game progressed, I found myself in a tight situation once more. The bases were loaded, and the opposing team's cleanup hitter was at the plate. I could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on me, but I refused to let it overwhelm me. I took a deep breath, reminded myself to trust my training and instincts. I glanced at Jake, who flashed a sign for a slider. I nodded, knowing that this pitch could be the difference between victory and defeat. I wound up, focusing on my mechanics, and released the ball. The slider broke sharply and the batter swung, but it was a swing and a miss. Strike one. The crowd was on their feet, the tension palpable. I followed up with a fastball, aiming for the outside corner. The batter was ready and he connected, but it was a weak fly ball that drifted into the outfield. My teammate made the catch, and the crowd erupted into cheers once again. As I walked off the mound, I was met with high fives and cheers from my teammates. I had brought it all together, executing my game plan flawlessly. But I knew that the game was far from over. I had to stay focused and keep my composure. In the final inning, the stakes were higher than ever. The opposing team had rallied, and the game was tied. I could feel the pressure mounting. But I reminded myself of all the hard work that had led me to this moment. I took a deep breath, centering myself as I prepared to face the heart of their lineup. The first batter was a powerhouse, known for his ability to hit home runs. I knew I had to be careful. I decided to start him off with a slider, aiming for the outside corner. I wound up and delivered, watching as the ball broke late. The batter swung, but it was a swing and a miss. Strike one. The crowd was on the edge of their seats, and I could feel their anticipation. I followed up with a fastball, this time aiming for the upper part of the zone. The batter connected, but it was a pop-up that drifted into foul territory. My teammate made the catch, and I felt a wave of relief wash over me. With one out, I faced the next batter, a lefty who had been a consistent threat. I took a moment to gather my thoughts, visualizing the pitch sequence I wanted to employ. I decided to throw a changeup first to disrupt his timing. I wound up and released the ball, watching as it floated in. The batter swung, but he was out in front, missing completely. Strike one. The crowd was roaring, and I could feel their energy fueling my determination. I followed up with a curveball, aiming for the lower part of the zone. I executed the pitch perfectly, and the batter swung again, but this time he connected, sending a sharp grounder towards shortstop. My teammate made a quick play, throwing it to first for the second out. Now, it was just me and the last batter of the inning. I could feel the tension in the air, the stakes rising with every passing moment. I took a deep breath, reminding myself to stay calm and focused. I glanced at Jake, who signaled for a fastball. I nodded, knowing that this was the right call. I wound up, feeling the familiar rhythm of my body as I released the ball with precision. The fastball zipped toward the plate, and the batter swung hard, but was too late. The satisfying sound of the ball hitting the glove echoed through the stadium. Strike three. The crowd erupted in cheers, and I felt a rush of adrenaline course through me. As I walked off the mound, my teammates greeted me with high fives and pats on the back. I had brought it all together, executing my strategy flawlessly. I realized that pitching was not just about individual skill. It was about teamwork, trust, and the ability to rise to the occasion when it mattered most. In that moment, I understood that every pitch was an opportunity to showcase my skills, to command the game, and to bring it all together. I was not just a pitcher. I was a leader, a strategist, and a warrior on the mound. And as long as I stayed true to myself and trusted my instincts, I knew I could face any challenge that came my way. The celebration that followed was electric, a culmination of hard work and dedication. My teammates surrounded me, their faces beaming with joy. We fought hard, and this victory was a testament to our collective effort. I felt a sense of belonging, knowing that I was part of something greater than myself. As the night wore on, I reflected on the lessons learned throughout the season. Each game had taught me something new, whether it was about my own abilities or the importance of teamwork. I had grown not just as a pitcher, but as a person. The challenges I faced on a mound mirrored those in life moments of pressure, uncertainty, and the need to adapt. In the days that followed, I continued to train, honing my skills and preparing for the next season. I knew that the journey of a pitcher was never truly over. There were always new heights to reach and new challenges to conquer. I embraced the grind, knowing that each practice, each game, was an opportunity to improve. With an eye to the future, I felt a renewed sense of purpose. I was ready to take on whatever came my way, armed with the knowledge that I had the ability to bring it all together. The mound was my stage, and I was determined to make every moment count. With each pitch, I would strive for excellence, knowing that the heart of a true pitcher lies in the ability to rise to the occasion time and time again. About the author, Jason Beeding is the founder of the ARM Pitching Development Program, an intense 12-month pitcher-specific program that involves an everyday plan for mind, mechanics, strength, mobility, care, and recovery. The program builds a pitcher's total body of work and prepares them completely for their season. Jason has trained, coached, and developed thousands of pitchers over the last 20 years. He is a personal trainer and performance coach. His passion is to get pitching athletes to realize their fullest potential and create a well-rounded sense of awareness, helping them achieve success at their position. Jason's work as a pitching coach and mentor has allowed him to create, write, and develop unique plans devoted to pitchers' well-being. He continues to mentor and consult teams and individual athletes on topics related to purpose, motivation, leadership goal setting, and achievement generating a high-performance mental state and strategic gameplay. Jason continues to operate and coach the ARM Pitching Development Program and private pitching sessions at 643 KC, located in Blue Springs, Missouri. You can view his other works: 6-week youth preseason workout, 2018, 12-month arm care and throwing program, 2018, and 9-week throwing velocity and training program, 2020, on Amazon and at participating retailers. You can also follow the ARM Pitching Development YouTube channel for more baseball pitching tips and hacks. Social tags: YouTube, ARM Pitching Development. For inquiries on coaching and speaking engagements, please send email to coachbeeding@gmail.com. Copyright 2025 by Coach Jason Beeding. All rights reserved. This book or any portion thereof may not be reproduced or used in any manner whatsoever without the express written permission of the publisher. www.armbaseballtraining.com